Like,
Fall
God
Guys.
damn.
God.
We be asking this.
Hop
we be-
off. Please, can you hop off? Thank you.
Bro, you
God.
be
Like,
telling you
damn.
was gonna
Like,
send us email shit, and you ain't never sent shit to us.
Damn, like guys won't hop
we be like, we just,
off.
like, every time we be telling this man, like, bro, like, come on, like, we want to show you love or something like that on this,
We want to show you love.
on the video. Like, we want to show you love about the video.
That's what you mean. Interesting.
And you just be like,
but we trying to support you.
yeah, we trying to support you, nigga.
I'm trolling. I'm trolling. My fault, OG.
Man.
My fault, OG.
And anyway,
I sent in our GMs.
You ain't shit. Anyway,
wow, that's insane to me.
You weren't, because look, it's taking this long for us to get a goddamn video from this man, bro.
That's insane to me. Oh, I mean, wait, we're live. Oh, hi guys.
Taking you for.
Yeah, we live. God damn it.
Oh, wow.
All right, y'all. Welcome to the RJD Podcast. You know, I'm your host Daryl. Our boy Justin.
And a random name, Zeno.
Yes, and Zeno, since you want to be a smart ass right now. But yes, we're here today.
I can't fuck with Zeno today. He's too much right now.
Yeah, he's too much right now. He in his feelings a little bit.
No, he got me in my feelings, goddamn it.
Trust issues. All right, let me chill.
But why we freaking roasting Zeno right now? Let's Zeno, we got a personal question to ask you.
Can we move on from this subject? Can we move on from this conversation? I don't want to hear.
No.
No. We made this segment specifically for you.
We made this segment.
Hey, I feel like this segment could be done, a few years later.
No, the people need to hear
look, a hindsight documentary.
Exactly, a hindsight documentary would be better. I don't feel like talking about the subject.
The people need to hear your voice.
Fine.
So a few days ago for our listeners out there.
Give them a backstory.
So we were told that James Harden will be staying with the Sixers, and then sources came out later on ESPN and other sports media saying that James Harden himself says Daryl is a liar. Daryl, as in not me, but
we have another Daryl who's a liar.
Yes, and
Daryl ain't no liar. He a lot of things, but
W sticking up for your friend, by the way. Carry on.
Look, saying that Daryl Morey is a liar and he doesn't support him. So let's talk about it. Zeno, what is the issue that you have right now with James Harden and his antics?
Sad to say this, but my goat is killing his own reputation. Sad to see. I remember back in the day. All right, let me be serious for once. Okay, so if I'm gonna be genuine with you, I think this is a power play from James Harden, because James Harden has done certain things which is quite shrewd and interesting in the sense that, like, for example, what's one of the best places to voice your how you're disgruntled in China, because if you've known, Daryl Morey had done certain things with the Chinese in the past that caused friction between those both. And then so he went to a camp in China, I believe. Was it China?
Yeah.
And then he proceeded to explain why he doesn't want to be there. If you go down and understand why possibly Daryl wasn't able to do so, it's also understandable from his part, because at the end of the day, he tried to actually do it for you, but because of how you performed and produced, the general managers didn't allow him to actually do that, and that's why he didn't get enough money. So from both sides, I understand the issue. From James Harden, it's like his own homeboy essentially sold him out. And then from Daryl, he didn't actually sell him out. He wanted to, but circumstances changed and he's not able to do so. But I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about how for superstars or star level players, one of the things that you should never do is settle for less. And I think that's quite interesting, because in his situation, he shouldn't have settled for less, because around that time, that's probably going to be his last big pay. Especially now, especially after this year, it's going to be his last big pay. So he needs to ball out now, so that even if Philly doesn't want to pay for him, let's say it's, I don't know, what other team that would pay? Like the Clippers want to pay for him instead. like something like that. Because if he doesn't, then I just don't see him getting a huge payday like he would have 2 years ago. So if I'm gonna TLDR it, if I'm gonna say it as quickly as possible, I understand where both sides coming from. I think Daryl did kind of somewhat cheated him because at the end of the day, you promised you'd get this guy what he wanted and you didn't do it. So I side more with Harden, and I think Harden is being a shrewd man by going about it the way he did. So, but yeah, that's my whole thought.
So do you think the way in which he's doing it, like I'm with you. I agree that I think the basis of this situation, I don't think neither one is like fully at fault nor are fully like clean of hands, right? Like I feel like James Harden, if James Harden would have performed the way that they expected him to perform, that he wouldn't be in this situation. And if Daryl Morey, if Daryl Morey could stop for once, like telling his players, because this isn't the first time he's done this, where he tells his players that I'm gonna take care of you, and things that are just out of his hands force him to have to basically go the opposite direction. He did it with Chris Paul before he sent him to Oklahoma City. Like Ryder Skip, he told Chris Paul that he had nothing to worry about. He did the same with Melo. He told Melo that he was home and the Rockets had a plan for him. And 10 games later, he got banished. Like he's done this before, but it's not because of him. It's because of things that are outside of his hands. Like he needs to stop making promises. So I don't think either one of them are at fault, nor do I think neither one of them are clean of hands. The only problem I have with James Harden is the way in which he's coming out about this. Do you feel the same?
I don't think that's really a problem because in my opinion is one of the things I completely forgot to bring up, the fact that Daryl Morey decided to tell James Harden, oh, if you opt into this deal, we will trade you to the place you want. That is insane because he actually ended up not trading him to that place. So now he's being essentially forced into this amount of money, which he didn't actually want to look for. So I think that's also that's crazy to me to just do that to someone. So I actually don't have an issue with the way James Harden is going about it. Hey, if you've been cheated out of money, it's rightful that you're getting an irate about it. So I know what to say to you.
I'll actually go on.
Well, that he gave a nice little eulogy for his team.
Well, rest in peace, James Harden. He's cooked.
Also, rest in peace because it don't get much better than him.
Same with your Bucks, man. Your Bucks is just picked up a 35-year-old Chris Middleton.
Don't bring the Bucks into this. We talking about
I just want to say this out. You guys are not making out the second round. You ain't fooling me.
Bro, when are y'all going to the finals? When are you going to the finals? When's the
exactly. No. Forget the finals. When are y'all going to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Don't worry about that.
Okay. Yeah, all right, guys. Well, as we've been getting we've gotten sort of accustomed to doing this the last couple of weeks. We are doing the top 15. And this week we are doing the top 15 small forwards. So the way that this order is going to stay, we did another randomizer. I'm really good with the randomizers. First is going to be Daryl. Then it's going to be me. Zeno, you're third.
We're doing small forwards today, right?
We're doing small forwards.
Do you want to do it in a wait? I kind of want to say this. Do you want to do it in a sense that like you pick number 1, he picks number 2, I pick number 3? You want to just keep rotating like that?
Yeah, we've been doing that.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
We've been doing that. What?
My fault. OG.
Nah, who you been talking to? They've been having a different formula. Hold on, wait a minute.
My fault. I've been zoning out. Whoops.
All right. Daryl, are you good to start, or you need us to?
Yeah, you guys start right now.
All right. So, Zeno, I'm gonna go first, and then you go second.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't think it's much discussion right here. I think at the small forward spot, the best small forward in the league right now, I think everybody should agree, it's Tatum.
Jason Tatum. Oh wait, you was actually
Yeah.
not trolling. No,
No, I'm not
no,
trolling.
no.
No, I don't. I
No.
don't think. I don't.
I thought
Look,
I thought you was about to
Wow.
troll and say Jason Tatum, but no, you're being
I
serious.
thought
no,
he
no,
was
I'm dead.
trolling
I'm dead.
too.
I'm dead. Like I'm dead at when it comes to small. When it comes to small forward, I actually have like a bigger conversation I want to have with you guys after this list,
Which is
because
Jason Tatum versus-
I feel like we all agree like this list is going to get like sort of tougher
yeah.
than the point guard and shooting guard spot after like a certain number. And it's sort of like a little bit concerning to me. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that first. But yeah, no. Yeah, number one to me, I think Jason Tatum is hand down the best. I think he is one of the better defenders in the league. I think
Agreed.
he's developing as a playmaker year by year. I think as a scorer, I would like to see him more consistent. But even with his inconsistency at the small forward spot, when you have players like Brandon Ingram, who although I love his upside, I think that he's inconsistent as well. You have, and he does not nearly put up the value of scoring output that Jason Tatum does. I think
I
Jason
agree
Tatum,
with that, I would say that I feel like one team you need to also look at the team when it comes to that. The team
well,
is
I'm talking
orchestrated around
like
Jason
player
Tatum.
production though.
Yeah, but I'm saying the team is orchestrated around Jason Tatum, while Brandon Ingram is supposed to be the second best player. So the team's actually orchestrated through the best player, which is Zion Williamson. I also believe that his scoring could be better. I do.
Yes,
No, don't get me wrong.
I'm looking at okay. I understand from the team like him not being
just
able
looking
to
at
be
players. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm looking from the his shot selection. Like at least in Tatum's case, like Tatum is going for he's going for broke, right? So like he's shooting these step back 3-pointers, right?
6'10" James Harden, Kyron.
Yes, okay. 6'10" James Harden, that's fine. But in Brandon Ingram's case, Brandon Ingram is shooting like mid ranges that are like borderline like Kobe-esque like difficulty. And it's like in some senses it works. In most, like I'm looking at Brandon Ingram like, bro, like come on. Now,
So
to his credit, though, he gets to the rim far more than people want to know. But still, like especially in the playoffs, his mid-range selection is like it's a little crazy. But yeah, Jason Tatum's number one for me.
I couldn't agree more on that one.
I didn't even get into his rebounding.
My good Jason Tatum's getting cooked right now.
Okay, who's number two for you, Zeno?
The true number one, and I wanted to say this before he screwed up the list already, is Kevin Durant.
He is not a small forward. He's not a small forward.
Did he move up to the power forward?
Yeah, he's moved up to the power forward. He's been power forward. Wait, Tommy, you think I'm choosing KD over Jason? No. I'm choosing Jason Tatum over KD.
No,
now.
Justin, they recently listed KD as a small forward.
No.
He's the forward.
He's a power forward. He's a power forward. I'm looking.
Power forward.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. He's playing power forward even in Phoenix and Brooklyn this year. Never mind, my fault. Wait, I'm guessing LeBron also.
LeBron is also a 4 as well. That's why I didn't.
That makes a lot more
sense.
Wait,
okay. So do you get why I have a problem now with like the small forward?
Yeah, you're gonna say the talent.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, the talent is starting to become despair.
I see what you mean now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, what do you mean having a conversation? We have like 3 good small forwards. What are you doing?
But now that you see that. You see why it gets a little bit of a drop off, right?
Yeah, it's becoming
okay. Because at first I was like, there's plenty of other small forwards that are great in this league, but it makes sense now.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum.
So that's what I'm saying. Jason Tatum at this point, he's the best.
So let me go on and say mine then, since Zeno's.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking up. Yeah, might as well.
I'm going with some Jimmy Butler.
Is he not? Oh yeah, he is a small forward.
He is a small forward.
He's a small forward.
That was gonna be my
I
second. Yeah.
Yes, Jimmy Butler. He has proven time and time again that when it came to the playoffs and the big moments, that he can produce. Unfortunately, I will say like the finals wasn't his best performance like it was in the finals when he played the Lakers in the bubble. But I will say like he for every team that he's been a part of, he's always led them to the playoffs. And it doesn't matter. He does the dirty work, whether it means he got to be a defender, if he's got to hustle, rebound. If his scoring is not, if he's not scoring the ball, he's rebounding. He's playing defense. If he is having a good scoring night, that's when Miami's at their best. But to me, I feel like he's number two because he's an underrated small forward that people don't like to talk about because he isn't, everyone's favorite player.
I think one thing that people really underrate is his defense. I think
Yeah.
it's a genuine argument between probably actually no, there's more small forwards I say, but Jimmy Butler, in my opinion, is probably one of the best defenders that we've seen in the last like 15ish years. Honestly, because the terror that he is in the passing lane is insane. I hope you know, like during the playoffs, I
Why?
can't remember. Listen, during the playoffs, I think in the last 3 or 4 years, he's leading the league in steals, and it's by a quite a margin. I think also in the system that Eric Spoelstra plays,
But
which is
LeBron
like
was
the
doing the
Heiser.
same.
What?
Yeah, you said in the last 15 years. I'm
Yes,
thinking. I'm like
I
Kawhi.
said I said he's one of the best defenders, one of the best. And I'm talking about wing defenders specifically.
How far does one of the best goes?
About, I would say at most probably 5'10".
5 to 10. Okay, I'll give him 5 to 10. Okay.
Yeah, like he's I would say like at least he's fifth around there because he's actually, if you really sit down and think about it, one of the reasons why that defense can work is one because of Bam and how switchable and
Yeah.
how usable he is in every scheme possible, and the other is because Jimmy Butler is just that versatile and he's that much of a terror in passing lanes.
Yeah.
I'm back on track.
And we were able to see how effective he was, especially in Miami with the defensive schemes they ran, even in that lone win they had against Denver, how they were able to switch it up to zone and make it effective, either other than Denver figuring out and making a counter move. But we saw in that game how effective he is on and off the ball defensively, whether it was making, Murray make the decisions, all the decisions
Quick side note.
without Jokic. Yeah.
No, Karen. Yeah, quick side note. I am looking through all these small forwards and I'm like, bro, there is such a huge fall off of the Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And Brandon Ingram.
And Brandon Ingram.
And Brandon Ingram, which is going to be the third player that's going to be picked. I think Brandon Ingram, I'm not sure if he really progressed since last year. I actually think he progressed a little bit. I think his playmaking was decent. I think his shot making was kind of stagnant in a whole scheme of things. I think his mid range is still great. He actually does get to the rim, surprisingly well.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily sure about his 3-point shot. I don't really pay attention to his 3-point shot, to be fair. But he's actually really decent in playmaking. I think that's actually one part of his abilities that is very underrated. Oh, it was cool. Nearly 40% at 3.6 attempts. Fair enough. But yeah. Oh, he took a huge leap from last year. Jesus Christ, 32%. Golly. Back to what I was talking about.
Hold on, before you go there, Sports PSP put in chat he thinks that Ant Edwards is going to be a top 10 player in the next 4 to 5 years.
Oh, 4-5 years, yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
I think
thought you were about to say
that's
next
definitely
year.
possible, especially seeing what he's doing on Team USA.
I was gonna say, if you could say next year, I was gonna say, all right, you're bugging. But 4-5 years, yeah, the sky's blue. I think everybody.
His performance today. Well, because I didn't see it, but I heard about it. I mean, he basically helped a weak Team USA, who was about to lose to Germany, who Germany does not really have anybody on their roster, and they were about to lose, and he brought them back with 34 points when they were down by 15.
I think quiet is kept. People are going to start to pay more attention. Well, not pay more attention, but people are going to start to give him more praise on his development on the defensive end. To be honest with you, and I'm one of them. I think the last time me and you talked, Zeno, about Anthony Edwards, I told you that I think his defense is mad inconsistent. Well,
It is.
I am so like impressed with how consistent his defense has been for Team USA. I say if he comes into the Minnesota's training camp the same way in this season, and this is just a glimpse of the way he's going to play this season, I might have to seriously have talks about Anthony Edwards entering that conversation as like a top 3 shooting guard.
And my question to you is, do you think, I have this question to you, do you think that he could replace Kawhi as the best two-way player in the league? You know, like how
Kawhi is killed. If we trying to keep it, if we want to keep it a stat, I think Kawhi Leonard's title could have been taken a long time ago. Just nobody's good enough to take it.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that the thing is, like, Kawhi's whole claim to fame was essentially that he was always like the best two-way player because he was one of the best. Almost knocked my drink over. He's one of the best defensive players in the league while being such a great scorer. So do you think that Anthony Edwards could take that mantle?
Absolutely.
I think my only issue with Anthony Edwards is that his playmaking is still kind of lagging behind his scoring and his defense. And I also think that like you were saying before when we was having this argument, you were saying that his defense was inconsistent, and that was mainly in the first 3 halves. When it came to the fourth quarter, he usually like locked down. Was like, "Yep, I'm gonna lock them up." This is how they grinded out some of those like wins that they had during the regular season. But besides the point, yeah.
But even in that, like I'm watching him in Team USA, and from the moment he enters the game, because he's coming off the bench for them, which I don't understand.
No, that's the thing that's killing me right
now. Yeah,
that's
I don't understand. But he comes off the bench for him, and from the moment he enters until the game is over, he is impactful on that side specifically. He basically does not care about the scoring load or anything like that. Granted, you don't have to worry about that when you have Brandon Ingram already there. You have Jalen Brunson carrying the load and all that stuff.
So but so much. Yeah.
Defensively, the man is locked in, fast, he's quick on reactionary like passes, right? So like they're doing a full court press, and half the time these players are just like they're reacting to like the press being thrown at them, so they throw it. And when I say this man, Anthony Edwards, is like the first one on the ball, he gets it and he gives it up, and like it's not like a something you're gonna find in the stat, but I'm telling you right now that is gonna be so impactful for the Timberwolves, especially when you have somebody that's a defensive liability like Karl Anthony Towns. If you match Anthony Edwards' defensive intensity right now with Rudy Gobert's and Jalen McDaniels comes back,
I was gonna talk about that.
God,
I'm trying to tell you that that defensive duo
defense is going to be. What you want to know? What's funny? We were talking about how Memphis grit and grind area is back with Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
they might have competition with Minnesota, low key,
bro. But I feel like the reason why I would take Memphis over Minnesota is because Minnesota still has such a huge negative on the defensive end with Cat. Compared to Grizzlies, who already when Ja was off the court. When got Ja off the court, they've become one of the best defenses in the league. And now they're removed because Ja is going to be out for what? 29 games?
29 games.
Yes. They're gonna have what's called Marcus Smart, which is one of the best defenders in the league. Not guard defenders in the league, because he can actually play over his height.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have a lot of switchability with their own team. I'm telling you this now, that defense is going to be stingy as hell when we go down there. You have a question up there, by the way.
Yeah. So Sports PSP also puts in the chat, where do you rank Kawhi? We'll go down the list. Daryl, where do you rank Kawhi right now when healthy?
When healthy, Kawhi Leonard, he's a top 5 player when he's healthy.
I agree.
I'd argue that.
No, I'm gonna be dead honest with you. I agree with it simply because the fact that you can just watch. I know this is really such a small sample size, so don't mind me. But when you was watching that playoffs against
Yeah, I was just
about
about
the
to say
Suns,
that.
that it displays to you that even when his team was actually outmatched talent wise, he was able to still pull out a win because Kawhi is one of the few players in the league which you can say he is unguardable in a sense, like one on one, or even sometimes when you double him because his like superpower is his strength and how he can get to his spots because he's just stronger than everybody and how he's so consistent to get in this spot. You can't stop
Well,
Kawhi from getting to that mid range or that shoulder bump into a vertical fadeaway. You can't stop that. That's been tried and true. It doesn't matter what defender you put on Kawhi. The only thing that's stopping Kawhi is his own knees. That's the only thing that's stopping Kawhi.
well, I was also going to point out too. We saw his performance in the 2019 playoffs. How he was
that's 4 years ago.
That's 4 years
I
ago.
don't care, but still, he has shown
Okay,
that
okay,
he's
okay. So if you're gonna do that,
listen,
if you're gonna do that,
listen to
then
me.
KD
Listen,
should still be
no,
top 5 to
bruh,
you as well.
Okay, but listen to what I'm about to tell you though. What I'm trying to say as an example, as whatever team that he joins, he has always made them a better team with his presence being out there.
I think that's kind of a weak argument, but
That's not a good argument because when we're
every
talking about
every superstar to like every like top 10 to 15 player when they get put on another team is gonna make them better. It's quite a weak argument in my opinion. But
So would y'all say with Kawhi Leonard, had he been healthy this whole season, do you say with him being there, they'd be in the higher seed in the West and
yes,
possibly
easily.
get out the first round?
I think so. Yes, easily.
All right, Justin, why
If
not?
he was, if
well,
you,
no,
wait,
you know
wait.
what? You know what? I take that back. Yes, because that they would have knocked Dallas out when Dallas didn't have no real reason for being in the fight.
What's called? You're telling me Kawhi being there for the whole season wouldn't make them move up this ranking?
No,
Hello?
I said yes. I said yes.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say,
Yeah, I
Kawhi,
said yes because teams like Dallas were fighting for the spot that the Clippers should have been in the dogfight for.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kawhi alone with that team would have allowed them to be like a top 4 or 5 seed.
I agree. Ty Lue and Kawhi tandem is like
Exactly.
a small ball Kawhi is like really, really dangerous if people don't understand.
And also the interesting part of the fact that even if Kawhi was healthy throughout that series, even if they don't win, they might go 7. And I actually would take Kawhi over that team because I just wouldn't trust in D-Book's like hot shooting.
I got a question. Is Kawhi when healthy better than Kevin Durant?
I believe so, yes.
Daryl.
No, I still believe Kevin Durant's better.
I believe it's a very close question, but I think
I still believe Kevin Durant's better. My thing with it, because I'm always going to be a KD fan.
That's crazy.
Like, I'm just being honest, so I'm obviously gonna say it, but Kawhi Leonard, he does give KD competition, but I'm always gonna pick KD to win.
KD competition is crazy. He beats KD when he sees KD. There's only one time in Kawhi's career where KD beat him, and that was the Oklahoma City Thunder with Westbrook, where they beat the Spurs in 2016. Remember when LaMarcus Aldridge came there?
Yeah.
And had one good game in that series and then disappeared the rest of them. Yeah. Dang it. That series. But
all right.
I think Kawhi, where I would rank Kawhi, I think Kawhi for me, he would be outside the top 5. Because I think the top 5 right now is just like so like jam-packed with like, won't say like they clear him on impact, but like they edge him out when it comes to like the 4 and 5. Because I have Luka in my top 5. And I think Luka's playmaking and scoring prowess is like slightly more impactful than what Kawhi's defense. I mean, we saw even with Kawhi being healthy, how impactful Luka alone with that Dallas Mavericks team was versus him and Paul George. And quiet as kept, I mean, Kawhi's defense is falling off like for
That's
years.
true.
It's been years, man. So I think I have Luka over him, and I think Joel Embiid, like this regular season alone. But then when you go into the postseason, like even though Joel Embiid drops off significantly, and don't get me started with him, I think he's still just slightly more impactful on both ends as opposed to Kawhi. It's really nip and tuck for that fifth spot, but 1 through 4, I think it's like solidified. I don't think Kawhi has a really case to be better than Steph right now. Doesn't have a case to be better than Giannis right now. Doesn't have a case to be better than Jokic right now. And he doesn't have a case, in my opinion, to really be better than Luka either. But we'll get back to the top 15.
Top 15.
So far we got 1, 2, and 3, which is Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Brandon Ingram. The fourth spot.
I was thinking Wicks, Iggs or Wicks. Not gonna lie to you.
I was actually going to say if
it's between. You know what I'm thinking? You know what I'm wondering? Wait, what happened?
I thought he was going to say Paul George.
I think
Paul George is a 2. Paul George is a 2.
Oh yeah, knew it. Yeah, because
Paul George
Kawhi is a small forward.
Yeah, because Kawhi plays the 3.
Yeah. What was I about to say? You fucked me up.
All right.
No, I was going to ask: is Anthony Edwards a small forward?
No.
No, he's a shooting guard.
It is Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is going to be 4th for me. I think Andrew Wiggins has. I won't say he has adapted his game, but he sort of did when coming to the Warriors back in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I think defensively he has unlocked his potential all the way. I don't think anybody should question him from his level of impact. Quiet as kept this season. Well, this season and last season, on top of Draymond's like defensive brilliance, which we already know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Wiggins defensively was like so impactful that even when Draymond came off of the floor, they still were able to maintain top tier defense.
I don't agree with that. Specifically 2 years ago, when Draymond was injured for a few games, can't remember why. You could see that his defense was starting to crack. Actually, I disagree with that. 2 years ago, maybe this year because.
But that's 2 years. But no. But that's.
I thought we weren't going to the past.
No. We're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about right now. Y'all talking about right now.
You brought up 2019.
No. I said this year. No,
I'm talking to Daryl. I'm talking about Daryl. Daryl brought up 2019. I'm bringing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was called the winning. What's the year that the Warriors won? That's what I'm talking about. Wow.
Yeah. No. I'm with you. So Andrew Wiggins this past season, like in for much of last season, I think Andrew Wiggins' defense has been so impactful that it's like it's definitely crossing the line between Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum's defense. So I think that he has that going for him there. The biggest thing that drops him off from Brandon Ingram, in my opinion, is his offensive development. It's still inconsistent at times. I think as a shooter, he's become his best self, right? In that sense. But even his best self in that sense is pretty simple. Pretty simple to defend if he has the ball in his hands. Luckily for him, he has Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. He had Jordan Poole last year on his side, so he didn't have to have that much attention on him. So he was able to replicate his shooting from the year prior. But even with that, I'm looking at his game, and it's still the same like inconsistencies that he's had. I think he's become a better finisher, low key though. I think he's become a better finisher, but I think his main claim to fame is defense. So with that, and understanding how impactful defense is in this league, I will put him at 4th.
All right.
All right.
I'm kind of looking through. Oh no, it's your turn.
It's you, Daryl. Oh wait, no, Zeno, it's you. It's
No,
you.
remember he
'Cause
talked. He
remember
spoke.
the way that it went, the way that it's supposed to go
Yeah, I
is
know, but I'm
Daryl,
trying to say
me.
that it was Daryl. Daryl spoke over me because remember I was looking through
Yeah, he
Oh
certain
was
things.
yeah,
looking.
you're right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
mean
on
to
you.
cut
It's
you
on
off,
you.
but that was the reason why I was trying to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah,
Who?
he is there. Okay, there's one player that I think you should pick right now. Actually, to be honest with you, I would have him over Andrew Wiggins.
I know who you're thinking of, and I would not have him over him.
So I respect the amount of the insane growth that we saw. Not gonna lie to you,
It's not really moving me, to be honest with you.
it's not
Although,
moving
although
me.
I give so
Who
much
you
respect.
guys? Who you about to say? Sadiq Bey?
No,
No,
he's joking. He's joking. He's trolling. He's
yeah,
trolling.
okay, he gotta be. He gotta be.
I was fell for it too. I was like, nah, he's joking. Not gonna lie to you.
No. I give credit. I give credit to him for what he did. What he's done as far as developing more of a consistent like offensive skills, but it's still not on the impact that Andrew Wiggins has defensively. Go ahead and say the name though.
Do you want me to say it instead, Daryl, and then you can
Say
go
it.
after?
Say it. Yeah, say it.
So the are we number 5 now?
Yeah, we're number 5.
Number
Yeah.
5, and I actually think he should have been number 4 is Mikal Bridges. So in my
I knew
opinion,
it. I knew it. I should have just said it, but
Mhm.
but go ahead.
So for Mikal Bridges, I feel like not much people would have noticed not noticed, but recognized this insane like growth. I guess it's not really. Oh no, he's a shooting guard this season. I am wrong. No, he's small forward.
No,
or
he's
shooting guard.
small.
He's small forward. He's small forward, primary
He-
shooting guard, secondary. He
Yeah.
became a shooting guard for the
He played shooting guard
Brooklyn
when they
Nets because it was best suited for what they needed. But for Phoenix, he was a small forward.
Yeah, I'm looking at it
Well,
now. Yeah,
yeah.
he's played 38% of his time shooting guard, mainly
Yeah.
51. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool. So we can just use it as a small forward. So
Okay.
I think
So
it was
we're
an
gonna count him as a
insane
small
growth.
forward?
Yes, he's a small forward.
He gonna be a shooting guard this upcoming season though.
Okay, fair enough. But Jesus Christ, one of his nicknames is Noodles. Okay, back to what I was talking about.
Really, dude got long ass arms though.
Yeah, he has one of the I think he was one of the breakout players last year. Would you say it's breakout, or would you say it's more getting more reps? I think it's kind of a mixture of both. The reason why I want to say that is because if you was watching him earlier in the season before he got traded, when Book was injured, when he was given more opportunities to shot create and self create, he was actually showing a lot of like chops and actual ability to do so on the Suns before he actually got moved to the Nets and actually displayed it on a bigger screen. So it's not like if you wasn't paying attention, it would have shocked you. But on other people, it would have shocked them less because they was already paying attention to it. It's still a huge, like a surprising thing though, to see him being able to shoot mid-ranges at an elite level, being able to attack the rim while shooting threes at a good clip. One thing I'm not really upset about is how he translated into the playoffs. It's quite a hard thing to do for you to be transitioning as like the second or even third best player on your team to now the number one option where the other team is focused on what you do as a player. And you didn't even have like a whole season to really understand how to play as the number one. It was literally half a year, probably even less than that.
And sorry to piggyback on top of that, like it's hard enough. It's like to what you said. It's hard enough for you to transition from being the third best player or the second best player in Phoenix to being the best player, like unquestioned for the Brooklyn Nets. But then you're also to become the best player in the playoffs. You expected to be the best player on the Brooklyn Nets in the playoffs. So all the attention defensively, as far as like scheming wise, in the playoff atmosphere is directed straight at you. I'm with you. I don't blame him for not performing very well. It's his first time, and he really didn't even get enough reps during the regular season for him to truly be prepared for it.
I agree. I do want to also point out I don't have an issue with his defense dropping because he had a huge swing when it comes to his offensive load. So I'm not really upset or depressed about the fact that his defense gotten worse. That's another.
We'll ask a question though. I will ask a question about that. I'm glad you brought that up. So, seeing as his defense, I agree with you. I think his defense dropped, like not significantly, but it dropped.
No, significantly.
It dropped significantly.
Yes.
How so? I didn't think it dropped that significantly.
I didn't feel like it dropped significantly in the playoffs.
He went from last year being robbed of Depoy to this year, in my opinion, he was firmly outside.
You think this year he was second? Was he second team this year?
I think he was firmly not number one. I think he was either probably around 13. Or I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't even.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna look into that right now
because I could see that he didn't have as much focus on the defensive end when he was on the Nets. I don't think he made it this year. Did he make the defensive team this year?
Mm-mm. I'm checking right now.
Yeah, not surprised.
No, I mean, I think. See, okay, the reason why that doesn't hold like that much weight.
Yeah, he got snubbed.
Yeah, the reason why that doesn't hold that much weight to me though is Zeno, you already know this. Like when it comes to like all defensive like selection, or even just like decoy, like when you're looking at that, you're mainly looking at the team's like statistics, right?
No,
and
I mean, understandable.
Very little at the individual statistics, right? So like Mikal Bridges defensively, to me, like when I was watching the games, I felt like he was still the same level player that he was in a couple years prior, like defensively. The only thing I felt like, and when it came to Phoenix, I felt like the defensive like unit took a drop.
Weaker. Yeah,
he got, especially in Chris Paul's case. Chris Paul was like the head of the snake, and he was able to guide him over to Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges was able to capitalize on that, right? But with Chris Paul being so bad defensively this past season, Mikal Bridges didn't have that, so he had to take on the role of being. Him and D Book had to take on the role of being more of a point defender, which is why.
Daryl, not to cut you off, Daryl, could you mute your mic?
Yeah. Which is why I think. Oh yeah, I did it. Which is why I feel like when you and me were talking about the Phoenix Suns a couple of weeks ago, and we were praising D Book for his development. I think that's a reason why he was able to develop. With Chris Paul's decline, him and Mikal Bridges had to pick up the slack. That being said, I still feel like the team itself took a drop off, and I don't think that's Mikal Bridges' fault. But then going to Brooklyn, like you said, the responsibility of the defensive end swung all the way to the offensive end for him. Like it's really, really hard. Like guys, I don't know if you guys understand that, especially like we were just talking about Kawhi.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier. I think his defense took a significant drop. It's not. I'm not hating it, and I feel like the reason why he didn't notice it as much is because he's surrounded by so much of a better defensive unit. That Nets team is underrated on how many defenders that team has. They have DFS. I actually need to check it myself. That team is very stacked defensively. If you really sit down and look at the team, that team has a lot of defenders.
Spencer Dinwiddie, would you look at it as like a quality? He's
a decent defender. I wouldn't say he's great or horrible.
Okay.
But so it's what the starting would have been Spencer Dinwiddie.
I think, Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, I believe. No, not Cam Johnson. Dorian Finney-Smith.
That's an amazing. That's like not amazing defender, but he's like a great.
No. I think Dorian Finney-Smith he deserves the right to be an amazing to be looked at as an amazing defender, because look at what he was able to do in Dallas.
Exactly.
Look at what he was able to do in Dallas.
You also need to realize his back. Is it back court or front court? His back court is DFS and Nick Claxton.
Oh no, that's the front court. That's the front court.
Front court. So that's such a great backline defense to have as well, because they're both very switchable and both can protect the weird rim. Although DFS is weaker than Nick Claxton at that. I agree.
I agree. that when it comes to Brooklyn, I saw a drop defensively.
That's what I'm talking about specifically.
No. But I didn't see a significant drop. That's
I
why
think it was, when I mean significant, I mean it's like quite noticeable. Okay. And I think it was quite noticeable.
Well, I mean, if I noticed it, then obviously it's noticeable.
Yeah. When it was a quite noticeable drop, because I feel like the reason why, as you said, is because his offense took a huge, like, they had a need for his offense to get better.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was less like understood why, or not understood. It was less pronounced because the fact that they have such a great defensive core around him. That's the reason why.
Okay.
I feel like it.
Yeah, one second. We got a super chat. Sports PSP says Ant has more potential, I think, than Zion or Ja. As talented and dynamic as they are, I like Ant. He has his man body. Pause. He will get better as a defender. He will get better as a defender. He doesn't have injury issues as Zion and Ja. We'll touch on this real quick and then we'll go back to the Mikal Bridges talk. But
okay.
I think Ant should be like looked at on their level, because maybe not Zion, because I think when healthy. I think Zion, when healthy, I think he clears both of them. Just off of his finishing impact alone. And his defense hasn't even been tapped into in large part because of his injuries and off the court antics.
I think he's gotten better as a defender last year. To be fair, the defensive scheme in New Orleans allows him. They essentially put him in a situation where he can pre-switch quite easily. So his defensive weaknesses hasn't been as pronounced as like 2 seasons ago. But so that's why I'd say his defense is better. But
oddly enough, you want to know what's funny? Yeah. I think if they were able to get like a defensive big, not a Rudy Gobert, because Rudy Gobert.
You think like something like Nick Claxton-ish?
I think Nick Claxton would be perfect alongside Zion. Because I think the main problem that I think Zion has is he looks to play catch up a lot. But if he didn't have to worry about playing catch up, and all you ask for him to do is just stay in front of the defender, and guide them to the center to be able to rim protect, I think that's an easier job on his hands. So I think there's ways you could build around Zion. I mean, again, Zion is a 4, and we talk about this all the time on the shows. Like, when the most important position defensively
is your 4 and 5.
Is your 4 and 5.
I'm not gonna lie to you. More and more I sit down and think about it, I think the most important defensive position, is actually the 4. I genuinely believe it.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say the 3. I've been thinking about the 3, bro. I've been thinking about the 3.
I think it's the 4. The reason why I think it's the 4 is because the 4 is responsible for mainly the roaming aspect, the weak side rim protection, and also like when needed to switch on the perimeter. I think the 4, like they require so much defensive utility compared to pretty much every other position. The center is mainly to play up at a hedge. It's also called hedge when they're doing PNRs and also rim protect. I think the small forward is mainly to guard the perimeter and like help switches and also play in the passing lane when needed. And I think the guards is
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Guards is the weakest position about it, but I just think the 4 is actually so valuable.
I see what you're saying, but I think the 5 is still the most important, and I think the 3 is slowly like coming back into that level of importance, because think about the switchability at the 3. Like Herb Jones is a 3, and how impactful he's able to be just off of like being able to roam between both realms. Like he can be able to
look at the most best defenders in the league. What are they making?
AD is a center though. AD is a
center. Yes.
Bam Adebayo is a center.
Fuck, I forget he plays.
Hold on.
The thing is, he plays like a power forward to me. My bad.
Let's adjust that. AD feels offended being called a center. He wants to be called a power forward.
Well, luckily we're not in the business of pleasing people. AD is a center, goddammit. Okay, he's a center. No, but what I'm saying is most of these centers that you're trying to say, they play like
they're very versatile. They
play like power forwards. Like Bam plays like a power forward. That's why a lot of people think that Bam needs a center so he can actually utilize most of his best attribute, which is his switching and his versatility.
Oh,
AD's a
I know
AD's
who
a
would Zeno.
yeah.
I know who would go perfectly with Zion.
Nick Claxton. Oh no,
Nope.
never mind.
Brook Lopez.
Oh, bro, no. Why?
Brook Lopez.
Oh, because of the spacing and
Because
also
of the
being a great
spacing on the offensive side and defensively, the rim protection, Zion could be able to do more.
All right, yeah, let's finish the other chat. No. The reason I'm not trying to disrespect you is because I want to finish this and then we can finish off this top 15 small forwards because really.
All right. So we got one more. We got one more chat from PSP. Ant can attack the basket. I think Ant will get better. Ja has mad potential, but injuries and off the court issues, and Zion with his weight, and I think he needs to incorporate his jumper more.
Can I get this? Can I get this shit off? I really have this shit.
Go ahead.
Firstly, Fraud Morant is not that guy. I want to say firstly. Secondly, I think John Morant, if I'm gonna be more serious, I think John Morant fits the archetype of the super fast point guard, but I think he's less in his development. Now, I want you guys to listen to me when I say this. He's farther away in his development than other guards in his same archetype, like Fox. The reason now, I think honestly, even though I hate to admit this, Ja is better than Fox, but I feel like the reason why I would actually understand
I disagree.
Overrate. I think Fox is better in his development is because Fox has already unlocked the ability to start and stop. Yeah, that mid range is one thing, and he understands change of pace more that Ja does. I think that's
exactly why Darren Fox is better. Trust me. I was not a believer. And trust me, I was not a believer in Darren Fox until this year. But Darren Fox's ability to start and stop, his mid-range development, his playmaking has exceeded expectations, in my opinion, and is far better than Ja's.
No. His playmaking is actually better. I'm sorry, I cannot take that L.
I don't think.
I think John Morant's playmaking is very noticeably better than Fox.
I think Ja's playmaking. Oh, go ahead, Daryl.
He is a great
playmaker. What you said, Daryl? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think Darren Fox is an underrated playmaker. I think people don't really look much into it, which I agree with Justin that he's a better playmaker. But because we're talking about Ja Morant here, people aren't going to go ahead along the lines and say Darren Fox is a better playmaker.
I don't believe it though.
I believe he's a better playmaker than Ja.
I think Darren Fox exceeds in making more difficult passes like precise.
I also disagree too. I think you guys need to understand that when he's the only real playmaker on his team and his team is winning, when he's on the court, they're actually serviceable offensively. That is something that you need to pay attention to more than Fox. Because to be honest with you, Fox's playmaking really got pronounced in the postseason when they'll play against the Warriors and the DHO merchant. Everyone started realizing that he was only a DHO merchant.
I disagree.
I think that's when people started really paying attention to how good of a playmaker he was.
I disagree. I will challenge anybody to tell me what Darren Fox was able to do the year prior before they even got Sabonis. I would challenge anybody to give me that answer because I can tell you, Darren Fox before Sabonis got there, no stats. Darren Fox before Sabonis got there was able to transition into being more of a half-court playmaker.
Yeah,
and that's the hardest thing when it comes to these fast point guards. And he was able to create without turning over the ball so frequently as he once did. Mm-hmm. And that's that was a large reason why Harrison Barnes was able to have a resurgence on the offensive end because he was able to get better quality shots from Darren Fox being able to penetrate and actually being able to make like smart passes consistently, more consistently. Now, I'm not saying that Darren Fox is like this supreme playmaker, but he is a better playmaker than Ja.
I disagree, but fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so
okay, Karen. I was gonna say I'll go along. Well, I'm going along the lines with Justin too. I'm gonna take one of the things that Justin likes to pull out and you guys, because we know about.
What is this?
Hey, yo.
No, no, no.
Hey, yo.
We know about Fox's speed.
Pull out.
We know about Fox's speed, but yeah, I just thought about that. Hold on. So
Thank you.
I'm gonna say it the right way now. Let me
I feel
rewind.
like he wants to pull out of this conversation.
Justin, you like to talk about longevity in a lot of situations when it comes to players.
Yep.
So to me, I feel like with Fox, he's a better playmaker, and overall, I feel like why I said he was underrated too is because the way he plays, like we knew he was a fast player, like we knew all he was doing was speed, but look at how Ja Morant plays. He plays speed too, but I think Fox has understood that, hey, I can play longer if I can control my speed.
Zeno, I'm thinking the same thing.
yo, Daryl, I respectfully, that was the thing that I said at the start. That I was actually
I'm driving, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
man.
we agree with you. That was the main.
Yeah,
no.
I think that was the one. I think that was the one thing me and Zeno like wholeheartedly agreed with. Like,
so, and then
But yeah.
when it comes to Zion, I think Zion and his weight, I understand that. But I think that Zion's unrelenting rim pressure is like insane. Plus, quite a skeptic. Zion has gotten better as a playmaker. In fact, he's been getting better and better as a playmaker. That's why when is it Steph or his other brother? But anyways, one of the Van Gundys.
Seth.
Yeah, one of the Van Gundy brothers actually started putting the ball into his hands and essentially make it point guard Zion.
Because you think of Stan Van
Gundy. Yeah, there you go. They was trying to make him like essentially the point guard Zion. Because he was actually getting better as a playmaker and making reads when he's attacking the rim. So I actually genuinely believe that Zion.
But it is important. It is important to say, although he's developing on the playmaking end, it's still like relatively like elementary still. So like it's not like not putting too much stock into his playmaking. Like don't do that. Like
I think his upside as a playmaker is way higher than Ant right now because I haven't seen
as a post playmaker, I agree with you. As a playmaker,
even when he's attacking the rim and trying to see like open shooters, I think he also showed that he can flash that he has the ability to do that too. Okay, so I think he actually has a better upside as a playmaker than Ant. And if he's that unrelenting as a scorer, especially attacking the rim where there's literally no one who can stop him, and while also being one of the probably the best Ja is there, one of the better playmakers out of the three. Even if his defense becomes like decent, I think his like great offense would carry him to the end.
It's still his offensive impact. That's the main thing. But like when it comes to Ant, like I think we all agree that I think Ant between the three is probably going to become the more versatile player between them all because I think that Ant's game can be able to translate to pretty much any system in the league today. That being said, though, when we talk about being who's going to be the best out of them all, I think it starts and ends with Zion Williamson because his offensive production cannot be matched. His efficiency cannot be matched.
Bro,
it has
27 points on like 63%.
When we're talking exactly like when we're talking about Zion Williamson, we are talking about a player that forget battling with players in this league. He's battling with history when it talks about efficiency around the rim. So that alone should give you sort of like an insight on how impactful on the offensive end Zion is. But then when you think about the development that he can possibly have later on defensively and his playmaking the ceiling on him is like limitless versus a player in Ja who I think we all believe that within the next couple of years, he's going to start to cap off sort of like on the offensive side and defensively. I just don't think that he's going to get much better. Because he's too small and he doesn't look like he's He doesn't look
I
like
don't
he's
even
playing
agree
any
with
type
that.
of fear in it.
I'll be honest with you. I don't even agree with that. I just think Jar just doesn't want to learn on defensive end.
Yeah, I was just
I think
that's what I was just about to say. I don't think he's big enough, and I don't think that he cares enough on the defensive end for him to even attempt to develop on that end.
Because what? How tall is Jar? Like 6'1", 6'2"?
He's 6'2".
6'1".
6'2". He's okay. Even if he's 6'1", 6'1" with the athletic advantages that he has, meaning he could be just a pesky defender who can stay in front of his man because he's just that fast. And it's not only like he's front to back fast. He's actually fast when it comes to going left to right as well. So he has the ability to stay in front of his guards. That's why you have those certain like highlights where he's like rotating and then shot blocking as a 6'1" guard. That's why you have those certain times, but he just doesn't care. So that's why I don't think he could be. I genuinely think Jar, if he really, really focuses in, he could be a good defender. I actually think he could, but because he has the actual defensive intangibles for that. Exactly with Fox. I think Fox can actually max out as a good defender too. He has the ability to.
I think he could max out as like an above average defender.
But yeah, that's back to what we was talking about earlier.
Yeah. All right. All right. So we're going back because we sort of took.
We went on.
Yeah. All right. So we're on to the sixth spot. Daryl, this is on you. I chose Andrew Wiggins. Zeno chose Mikal Bridges. I think we all know who should go next.
J-Mac. No.
Who did you say?
We still you want to know what's crazy? We have not said this dude's name, and it's starting to become a little bit disrespectful.
If it's DeFrozen, I'm gonna be sick. I'm sick.
It has to be eventually you have to say his name.
Hold on, yep.
Daryl, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. Who was talking about? Herb Jones?
No. He was talking about Jalen McDaniels.
Yeah.
He was talking about Jalen McDaniels.
J-Mac.
But
Jalen McDaniels?
He wants defrozen.
I think DeRozan has to be in here at some point.
Yeah,
we can't completely just
is DeRozan a small forward or is he a power forward?
No, he's a small forward.
I'm sick. I wish he was a power forward this season.
You said DeRozan's got to be in.
Yeah,
DeRozan has to be. DeRozan has to be next. He has to be. If we're keeping it a stack, DeRozan is the only reason that the Bulls.
I thought Levine was playing the 3.
What?
Oh, I thought Levine was the 3 for
He's a shooting guard. Hello?
Yeah, Levine's a 2.
You good? Daryl?
Oh shit, I thought it was the opposite way. Yeah,
yeah, no, the starting lineup this past season was Caruso, Zach LaVine, DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and Vucevic.
Yeah, so DeRozan's next.
Yeah. I know you driving.
We may have disrespected him a little bit.
No, we didn't. Because I don't feel bad about saying that I think that Andrew Wiggins' defense is more impactful than DeRozan. I don't feel bad about saying that Mikal Bridges' defense and his offensive production for the small sample size that it was is more impactful than DeRozan. So yeah, no, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad about that at all. And I don't think it should be a question over whether Tatum, Butler, and Brandon Ingram is better than him. So yeah, no, I think this is perfect. This is perfect for him.
I think respectfully also, quiet as kept, he's actually had one of the best isolation scoring season he has. I think it's one of the better ones this season. I think his mid-range has been, what it usually is quite. I would say not historic, but very close to being historic levels. He shoots at a huge volume as usual. Rim finishing is around how it usually is, really good. His playmaking, I don't see any noticeable improvements. I think it's peaked since he came to Chicago. His defense is still horrible, so that's cool. But that's how I have to say for DeRozan. Can we move on to what's called J-Mac? We need to praise J-Mac.
Well, you could pick J Mac because right now I'm about to select Michael Porter Jr. I think Michael Porter Jr.
You're troll. You're troll.
I was about to say.
I have something to say about MPJ next though. Okay.
But no, so I'm picking Jalen McDaniels next. I think I don't think it's I don't think it's a secret that we here on the RJD podcast are very, very high on Jalen McDaniels' ceiling, like his level of development on the offensive end, but defensively, I think that he is the premier defender in the league. The title that Herb Jones had the year prior, Jalen McDaniels now has that now. Because of his level of switchability and his impact for the Timberwolves is like phenomenal. Understanding that Cat being as bad as he was defensively, and dealing with the defensive woes of Anthony Edwards at some parts of the season, they were still somehow able to man one of the best defenses, not just because Rudy Gobert, but also because of Jalen McDaniels' consistency on the defensive end. He's very good at switching, screen navigation, off ball, like you name it. He excelled at it. Not at a defensive player of the year rate, but pretty damn close to it. And I think he should have got a nod as an all defensive. He should have got a nod in the all defensive selection realm. But yeah, I think when we're making this list, we're talking impact. Jalen McDaniels' impact surpasses a lot of the other small forwards that's going to come after him, and I feel pretty confident with him being at 7. All right. Zeno stepped away for a second. So, Daryl, do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, I got you. So, all right. Next we got. So go down the list one more time.
So far we got Jason Tatum at number 1 spot. We got Jimmy Butler at the number 2 spot. Brandon Ingram 3rd. Andrew Wiggins 4th. Mikal Bridges 5th. DeMar DeRozan 6th. And 7th is Jalen McDaniels.
I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Well, I just explained Jalen McDaniels' impact defense.
Who's going down the list?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So about to move on to MPJ.
We're on the 8th. We're on the 8th slot right now.
Okay. I don't know if this is a bit too high for MPJ, but let me check. I think this might be better small forwards still.
Be honest with you, do you think Kyle Kuzma is a small forward or power forward?
He's played more power.
I was just about to say it, Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma should be next.
No, he's power forward. I checked when I was making through my runs earlier.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if he was a small forward, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd probably squeeze him in between Mikal Bridges and DeMar DeRozan, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's like a mix between both of them, to be fair.
Yeah.
Well, with the situation he's at with Washington right now, he's listed as power forward.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Mm-hmm.
So
I'm trying to look for any other small forwards. Yeah, no problems, man.
Honestly, we could. This is probably the hardest list in my opinion.
Absolutely.
At the bottom part. Yeah.
So
is Franz Wagner there? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I think Franz Wagner is actually underrated. Yeah, he is it. He is underrated.
At the 8th spot, like, are you putting him ahead of Michael Porter Jr.? Are you putting him ahead of Chris Middleton, RJ Barrett?
Oh, I forgot about Mid Middleton.
Josh Hart.
Sad. So my number 8 is sadly Mid Middleton. So Mid Middleton. Mid Middleton. As much as I had to say this, Mid Middleton is still
the way he just said that, like he was like Sadly Middleton. Like,
Yeah, no, for real.
It is sadly Middleton. I forgot about that. I forgot about that mid player. I'm really sad. Oh wait, no, he didn't play. He didn't play much games. What the hell? Oh wait, actually, yes, I can actually say it's not him this season. Let's go. All right. Okay. So, okay. So my pick is actually between Michael Porter Jr. or Franz Wagner. I kind of want to boost.
You are sleeping so heavily on one guy.
Who?
OG Anunoby.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, don't tell me.
I always forget about those Raptors, man. Those Raptors are fraudulent. I was actually thinking about Pascal, and then I realized he's a power forward.
Oh no, he's a four. He's a four.
Yeah,
OG Anunoby. So you don't think that at the on the defensive end and his offensive?
Yes, sadly, I'm gonna have to bring him there. So he's one of the best defensive wing defenders we have in the league. Do I think he's somewhat overrated? But that certain people somewhat overrate him. I do believe so. I think he's a decent playmaker, not great by any means. I think he's decent. I think his shot creation still needs a lot of work because you see his main thing is to try and post back down smaller defenders. I don't think he's really unlocked his potential as a offensive player. This year he actually had a decent shooting year. He when it comes to threes, 5 attempts, so it's essentially 6 attempts on 39% shooting. That's really nice. So he's really like at this point he's still a great 3-and-D wing, but if you want to have him shot create, I don't think his shot creation numbers is that good at all actually. So to be honest,
it's nothing to write home about. Offensively, I think OG Anunoby's numbers are like a little bit inflated, low-key.
Why do you think so?
Because I think the offensive responsibility started with Fred VanVleet, stopped with Pascal, and so there was nobody else to pick up that middle part. OG Anunoby just lucked into it. I mean, he shot 36% from beyond the arc. So I mean,
it's not 36, 38. I checked.
It's 38. I thought it was 36.
No, it's 38.7.
Okay. Well, he shot 38% from the three. So there's that. But when I looked at the level of creation he was able to make, a large part of him being able to do it was just like simply off a catch and shoot. Like it wasn't. Yeah. It was very minimal like creation, and it's not that. I don't. You guys will find out like very quickly. They already know me, so they know like degree of difficulty like that matters to me. And when it comes to like if you're not able to create on your own, how much credit can I truly give you for you being able to be like quote unquote a top scorer or something like that? And outside of scoring, he doesn't bring you anything as far as a playmaker. In fact, I'd go as far as to say he's one of the worst playmakers on the perimeter that I would ask to have the ball in his hands. I think he equaled out on his turnover assist ratio. I think he had the same. I think it was like
I do want you to add into the fact that Toronto team's spacing was horrible. So I think that also played in with that. But
even with them being that bad of like an offensive like spacing team, I don't think that he is the guy that you would look at and be like, he can make something out of nothing, if that makes sense, right?
Well, that's usually reserved to.
I think on any other team, you would have him take probably about 7 to 8 shots a game. He was given 5 more shots for Toronto this year, and fair to him, credit to him, he was able to put up the good efficiency, average efficiency. But it's not enough. It doesn't really move me. And defensively, I think he's overrated, like you said. So I think 8 is like perfect for him because everything we just described, it's about what like the 8th through 15th is going to be. Like they're solid in 1-2 areas, maybe average in both. That's about it. That's about it. And it won't be at a level that will be like impactful. So yeah, I think OG Anunoby definitely should be in the 8th spot because like the next player that you're going to think of, which I think what was it? It was going to be Michael Porter Jr. or
Franz
or Franz Wagner. Like those two players, Michael Porter Jr. exclusively. He's great in one area, bad on the other, and it's not good enough.
I think genuinely he could go on better on the defensive end. I think he's actually less of a liability this year. But Karen,
I think he's bad defensively. I think he's bad defensively.
I think he actually managed to show up his bad defense during the playoffs. I think he was able to actually play within the system and not be as much of a defensive liability.
But okay. I'm glad what you said. Even with him playing into the system, you still recognize he's a bad defender. He just bought into a system. But as an individual, you're not good enough, defensively. Whereas in OG Anunoby's case, you don't have that concern. You know him as an individual is very, very solid defensively. He's great defensively.
To be honest with you, the only reason I wanted to put MPJ up now was because I wanted to talk about him. But Daryl, your turn. I have a rule.
No, we can put MPJ up if you want to talk about him.
No, it's your turn. You don't need to. I'll wait.
He's gonna be 10 because after you pick who you gonna pick, he's going to pick him. Because I think I just stole your 8th pick because I put OG Anunoby there. So,
I mean, yeah, I think we all were gonna go there. Can we all agree on because RJ Barrett?
Can we not talk about that fraud, that left-hand bandit? God.
No, we ain't got to the forwards yet. I was about to say, where did you put Julius Randle? Because depending on where you put
Julius Randle is going to be 15. Oh, my God. Don't talk to me about that fraud. He's even worse than RJ Barrett. Oh, boy. Another left-hand.
I don't want to talk about it. RJ low-key better than...
Nah, I'm trolling about it. He's still a left-hand bandit. But carry on, Daryl.
I was gonna say RJ Barrett. I mean, he's still the only problem. I pick RJ Barrett, but the one thing that he's got to fix with his game overall is like I feel like how we talked a couple episodes ago, or it may have been last episode about the Bulls about having no identity. We still don't know what his identity is with that Knicks roster because there's some games he comes out and he plays to the best of his ability. And the media and,
I ain't gonna lie to you, that's his fault, though.
Huh?
I ain't gonna lie to you, that's his fault.
Yeah, because he's why do you think I'm partially trolling, but I'm being serious. He's a left-hand merchant. Like, he cannot go right.
No, I think he can go right. I've seen him this
That's the whole Knicks team, if we're being honest.
In the what's called in the is it the Euro thing? Like, now he's showing that he can go right. But in the regular season and stuff, him and Julius Randle were both left hand. Like, they wouldn't go right during the regular season.
Oh, yeah,
that was the issue.
It was sick. It was sickening. That was terrible. That whole Knicks team literally was just left-handed.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Part of me feels like you low-key messed up the top 15 by putting RJ Barrett this high, but at the same time,
this high is crazy. By the way, this high is crazy.
I think ninth is too high for him, but at the same time,
I think his defense. I think defensively, he's
I was just about to say, but at the same time,
he's actually underrated.
He's an underrated defender.
I think you can make the argument that he low-key might be better than Michael Porter Jr., but.
Yeah, because defense, I think you can argue it because defensively he's actually a great defender. I think he's a great defender. I think he's underrated because of the fact that he's playing within a system. Jesus Christ! Mute your mic, my guy.
I tried, man. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get to it fast enough.
I couldn't get it crazy. But his defender is his. His defense is actually really good, but I think it's been underrated simply because of the fact that he's playing for one of the best defensive minds we've have in the league. And that's why I think his offense, although it's flawed, I think it's actually good enough to put him over MPJ because he's not a bad offensive player. I think he's decent to above average. Yes, his 3-point shooting is somewhat, shaky. If I remember, I'm checking right now. Yeah, it's 3-point shooting. Oh no! Oh boy, his 3-point shooting is not even shaky. It's ass. But I think his when he actually gets to the rim, he actually finishes well. The issue is because he's so predictable when he's trying to attack the rim, it does make it hard on him to actually get to there. So I actually think he's a good rim finisher when he gets to the rim. His mid range is he's kind of bad. Not gonna lie to you, and I think his 3-point shooting is kind of bad as well. But I genuinely believe that his offensive package, along with his great defense, is actually why you can actually put him above MPJ. But yeah, what's next? I think, okay, since both of them are muted, I'm gonna go next. So the fact that I guess RJ Barrett is 9th. I'm gonna say MPJ is 10th. Only specifically it was because I want to talk about certain things after I go down what he's good at. So MPJ, hands down, is one of the best catch and shoot players in the league. In fact, I think by the numbers, he is the best catch and shoot player in the league, barring, the greatest shooter of all time being Steph Curry. KPJ, no matter what you want from him when it comes to 3-point shooting, he can do it for you. If you want him to run off of screens, he can do it. If you want him to actually somewhat shot create off a 3-point shooting, it's going to be stiff as hell, but he can do it. He can actually make threes at pretty much any situation that you want him to do, and it's just insane to watch him shoot. Now the thing else called attacking the rim, he actually got better at it this year. He was able to put the ball down on the floor and actually attack the rim. Would you want him to have the ball in his hands often? No, because he has tunnel vision. So he's not actually going to be playmaking for his team. He's genuinely not looking for his team. As soon as he puts his head down to try and attack the rim, just get out of his way. He's not looking to pass to you. But yeah, now that I got and defensively, I think he's taken a leap. Defensively, he's not horrible like he was 3 seasons ago, but I think he's still like below average or decent in my opinion. Casual would probably deny that. Sorry, Justin.
I will.
But I do want to say this. So one of my takes that I had, and I've spoken to some people in Discord, I genuinely believe that MPJ, when he ends his career, he's gonna go down as one of the best shooters that we've ever seen, and I mean specifically 3-point shooters. The reason why I think that is that MPJ already has one part of shooting that most shooters that are that great have, which is irrational confidence. MPJ, as soon as he steps onto the court, he thinks every shot he takes from 3-point range is going in. It doesn't matter how heavily contested he is. It doesn't matter where he's shooting it from. He's gonna take that shot, and he believes he's gonna make that shot because he's that great. And I think that that's such a important quality that certain shooters have. I know there's certain shooters that don't have it, and that's why they're more selective with their 3-point shots. A la like Seth Curry. Seth Curry is actually known for being quite selective with the shots. That's why he's so efficient. But I think the reason why MPJ is that great is one, with the irrational confidence, and then two, how tall he is. MPJ as a small forward is like 6'11". Let me check, actually. I just want to make sure. Yeah, he is 6'10", sorry, as it says. 6'10", shooting in small forward. There is not much small forwards in the league right now that can actually bother his shot because he has long arms too. So he's essentially always going to be able to pull off a KD-like impression where he's shooting all over you. And being one of the best 3-point shooters in the league while having that type of contest, I just don't see how he can't get to the level of like, not Steph Curry maybe, but Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson, those type of level of shooters. I genuinely believe by the end of the day, when everything is said and done, I think MPJ is going to leave the league as one of the best 3-point shooters we've ever seen. You can go. It's your turn now.
No. I was trying to control my sneezes, man.
Oh, I thought he was about to be like, "Oh, this guy's like, can't believe he's actually genuinely believed this." Oh.
No. I don't think you're crazy because I think he definitely had the efficiency to back it up, and I think when watching him, he definitely is a shooter. Like if he ain't nothing else, he's a shooter. My problem is it sounds like a father saying this shit. I wanted more for him. I ain't gonna lie to you, because like watching him in high school and even a little bit in college, I looked at him as like a player that could be like a Kevin Durant hybrid, tall, lanky forward that had, ball handling skills to be able to penetrate around the rim, be able to get to his spots relatively easy and be able to shoot. And then I see him in Denver, and he for him to get on the court, to his credit, he had to give them what they needed, and at the time they needed more shooting, and he gave them more shooting. That being said, like a few years down the road, and you are not only are you a starter for them, but you're one of the most important pieces to them, and you have yet to develop further in your game. And
I'll be real with you.
that's the part that like low-key bothers me, because I genuinely wanted more from him.
I'm gonna be genuinely honest with you. I think it's foregone conclusion that he's not going to become a shot creator. You know why? I think as soon as he stepped into the league, people should have realized this. I didn't realize it until I really watched him. He's not going to be able to be one of those shot creators, like fluid movers, because his back is not allowing him to. If you really watch how he tries to shot create, his back is so stiff. Unless he like does something outside of the game, maybe yoga or something that allows him to let his back be more loose, so he can actually move with fluidity. I genuinely don't believe that he can become a shot creator. I don't think it's actually his own fault. Like, I think it's his back, his injury is stopping him from being that level. That's my only thing. And I'm being dead ass with you. If MPJ ever was able to shot create behind the arc, the league is finished, man. The league is finished. That league is finished. Because imagine a shot creating small forward who could also shoot over the head while having what's called Jokic being able to playmate for him, while having a shot creating guard who's also a decent. Nah, the league would be finished. So yeah.
All right. We're gonna move to the 11th spot, and I'm going to actually take a book out of you. I'm going to take a book from you. I'm going to go with Franz Wagner. I think when it comes to Franz, a lot of people don't know about his game because he plays, unfortunately, for the Orlando Magic, and Orlando Magic are in the middle of nowhere right now. But I think when we talk about Franz Wagner, we have to start with his ability to be able to play make. I think that's like his secret like weapon, and he's very excellent at utilizing it. Even with like this terrible roster that's before him, he's still able to like utilize it at a pretty good rate for how much he has the ball. And then I think secondary is his scoring prowess. I think he's very good at scoring. By the way, as far as like his playmaking, don't look into just the statistics, because the statistics will tell you that he's a 3.5 assists per game, like he's not like anything special. But if you watch him play, the openings that he's able to get for his teammates, even if he's not the one that gets the assist recorded, it's pretty impressive.
Do you think he's a good connector in the sense that he's able to carry on the advantages as well?
That's a perfect way of putting it. He connects the dot for the outcome to result in scoring. I think the better development that this team has in Paolo and Cole Anthony and or Markel Fultz or whoever they end up building around Franz Wagner, because I do think they need to build around Franz Wagner and not Paolo. Why? I think Franz Wagner's playmaking is something that you could be able to build off of and make an elite offense that could lift Orlando up from this like offensive shithole that they've been giving us for like the last.
I'm waiting for what's called Wendell to actually become even better as a defensive player. I think he has
too, because I think and that look, I'm with you, because I think Wendell as your starting center, if he peaks at the defensive at the defensive level that we think that he can, because I'm be honest with you, when I look at Wendell, I think he could be Bam. I think he can be does because I think he has the switchability in him, and I think the rim protection he could be able to give you may be like on his level, if not a little bit better, because he's longer than Bam. Like Bam has long arms, but he's shorter. Wendell's tall and he has those same long arms, so I think he could be able to give you that rim protection, and I think he has the switchability. Mix that in with the fact that I think you know how I feel about this, Zeno. I think you can find a slew of scorers in this league. You can replace, respectfully, you can replace a Paolo. You can replace a Cole Anthony.
I don't know if you can replace a Cole Anthony. I agree. I don't think you can replace Paolo right now.
I think the scoring and the lob threat. I think you could be able to replace Paolo.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about because of his upside. You don't know how.
Yeah. Okay, if we're talking also upside, like we're bringing that into the conversation, I'm with you. I think Paolo's upside.
Yeah, Cole Anthony,
him and Franz as a tandem. I think that they could take over the league if they reach their offensive peak. But that being said, I think the offense should be ran through Franz. They should build it around Franz and Wendell. Allow Wendell to keep developing on the defensive end. And if we're keeping it a stack, getting more defensive minded guards on the floor alongside Franz, and I think we're in business. But yeah, that being said, I think Franz playmaking is his claim to fame. I think offensively as a scorer, I think you saw like glimpses of what he could be able to do this season, and he's only going to get better from there because he needs to get more efficient from the 3-point line, and he will. Like I'm telling you, he will. That's all I got.
Well, we're not up to 12.
Yeah, we're up to 12 right now.
Oh wow! Well, you actually left school mid Middleton this low. Damn. Okay,
yeah, because the more I started thinking about it, especially once you said that Middleton missed a lot of this season, I was just like, yeah, it'd be sort of impossible. Like if we're not gonna have Kawhi on this list, why would we put Middleton there? You know? Yeah. Go ahead and pick who I think you're gonna pick. Who I think you should pick, because
you might as well say it because I'm not necessarily sure.
Herb Jones.
Oh yeah, Herbert Jones.
Yeah,
the best in my opinion, probably in contention for the best wing defender in the league. Herb Jones, bro. Ever since he stepped into the league, okay, let's talk about specifically this year. Yeah. One of the best wing defenders. It doesn't matter what assignment or what position you want to put him in. You want him to play help side, he can do that. You want him to stick onto the best player, you can do that. If you want him to get into passing lanes, he can do that. There's even been plays where you've seen people ice out Herb Jones and the offensive player he's playing and made them play 4v4. Herb Jones is a menace on defense, a literal menace on defense. Offensively, though, Herb Jones, he's still there's a lot to be desired on offensively. I think he progresses a 3-point shooter. I'm just checking.
I can look it up for you right now.
Oh no, he progressed as a kind of, I guess. It was still kind of the same thing. I do want to say though, there's this type of play called Stampede where when the offensive player already is trying to cut to the rim instantly when he gets to the ball. He's actually one of the practitioners of that, and I think that's actually allowed him to up it to be still kind of efficient scoring wise, because he's able to just, as soon as he got the ball, he gets the ball, he attacks and is able to finish. So I think that's what's keeping him being somewhat serviceable on the offensive end. But I think his defensive value is enough for him to stay on the court. And I think that's why Herbert Jones is one of the best defenders in the league, specifically on the fact that he has no real weakness on the defensive end. Maybe his rim protection, but he's a small forward, so.
But we must also say that Herb Jones needs to develop at the very least a 3-point shot, because eventually it will eventually your defensive impact cannot subside for the offensive negative that you are. And I think that eventually that's going to have to be closed out. Because I agree with you. I think Herb Jones is going to be able to stay on the floor just off of the defensive ability alone. But if Zion develops the way that you were saying that he could defensively, then what reason do we really need to have? Like, it becomes sort of redundant to have a player like Herb Jones playing great defense but giving you no spacing whatsoever, especially when Zion is trying to get to the rim.
Actually, I don't really have an issue with that. Really, I'm gonna be that honest with you. I'll explain it. I don't have an issue with that because I think Zion would still be able to finish and reasonable efficiency. I mean, to his standards, and I think having him Herbert Jones. I'm talking about with Zion. Even if Zion becomes a good defender, having one of the best wing defenders in the league is going to help Zion so much on the defensive end. I think that would allow him to put and exert more effort on the offensive end, even if it's on a lower efficiency. So I actually think that even with that, Herbert Jones will still be playable on the court. I just think that he's bleeding a lot of value due to his inability as an offensive player to shoot.
I love his defensive ability that he's at now, and I even think that his longevity wise, I think that he could last long. I think he could have like a Bruce Bowen level career defensively. That being said, though, like when you're that poor of a shooter, eventually it gets tiring with the front office, and I think eventually they could be looking for a player that could give you the not the same production defensively, but could give you something that's like in the middle offensively and defensively. Like let's say they went out and got a person that is a quality like 3-point shooter and a okay defender at like Sadiq Bey or something like that. Like I think that if those players became available at the right time, and you got and I think you lost enough series because Herb Jones is so bad offensively.
The Sixers would be fine with him being on our court, boy. Oh, we would give you Tobias Harris too. Oh,
no.
We would
because we already know y'all's weakness. I don't think that defense is your weakness.
But the thing is, if you have Herbert Jones and you slide him to the floor, granted that's kind of playing him out of position. You can have another shooter as a small forward, 3-and-D wing, and then have I think with that you can shore up the defense from your point guard, your guards.
We talked about this in the first episode. It's not that many 3-and-D players that's available.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, let's go carry on.
All right, so the 13th spot, I'm going to go with Josh Hart.
Okay,
I like Josh Hart.
I was going to say Josh Hart.
Josh Hart should have been a bit higher in my opinion, but carry.
Yeah,
I probably should have put Josh Hart in front of
from RJ Barrett all the way. From RJ Barrett all the way to Josh Hart, I think it's sort of interchangeable, to be honest with you. If you're being honest,
let's carry on because we need.
We need to move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Josh Hart defensively, I think he is. Although being a journeyman, it seemed like what's really impressive to me is how no matter where he goes, his defensive impact is able to stay relatively the same. And he fills in whatever role is required. He's very much adaptable, and that's one of the best part of his games. Offensively, I think he leaves a lot to be desired, but I do think that as a off-ball scorer, I think that he has some untapped potential that I think could be realized. Maybe not in New York because I don't think that they have the playmakers to be able to utilize him that way, but who never knows? Denver Nuggets. Yeah. So, yeah, I like Josh Hart.
I do want to add it on just quickly. He's actually quietly one of the best rebounding forwards. Forwards in the league. I think he's one of the best ones. I also do believe that defensively he's actually really good in the sense that he, like you said earlier, every team he goes to, their defense takes a noticeable, and you could tell that the defense gets better. But yeah, can we move on to the next?
Can y'all hear me? Because y'all can hear me?
Yeah,
because I was gonna say, you said talking about Josh Hart possibly being good in Denver. I could possibly see him being good with Philly.
Yes,
I think that
another Philly trade.
I agree. I think. Well, okay. I think Josh Hart could be there only under the caveat that James Harden or something stays and actually like gives it a try, because I think that you need a playmaker to realize Josh Hart's potential on the offensive end, because I truly think off ball wise, I think he has like a lot of potential there. He moves a lot off ball. So I think if you had a playmaker like James Harden, I think that he could be utilized in that manner. But again, no matter where he goes, defensively, we're going to take a jump.
Move on, let's go.
Or if the Sixers are going to officially get rid of James Harden, then they can make the move to get Lillard and Hart over there. But that's just like,
no, Hart's in New York. Hart's in New York.
No, I'm saying like if it was to ever happen.
Oh,
I said that's a wish list for Sixer fans.
Damn.
He just lost the dab at me, man.
Yeah, he just wanted to shit on you real quick.
Yeah.
All right, 14th. Who wants to take that one? We done fucked up the order already. Who wants to take that?
Yeah, 14th. I mean, the small, like if I'm being honest, that the small forward top 15 was gonna go everywhere.
Let's go.
Sadiq Bey.
Damn. Is he even Sadiq Bey?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I was thinking he was gonna say maybe like Bojan Bogdanovic or maybe Keldon Johnson, maybe.
I would have said Keegan
Murray. Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray sits right outside 15 for me. But I'm not mad at it. Because I think his offensive upside, especially the way he played during the summer league, I can see that. But yeah, I think the 14th spot really okay. So fuck the rest of these people. Okay, this is what I want to talk to you guys about. And it's not really talking; it's more I want to hear you guys' opinion on this. So we just went through this entire list. It took 1 hour and 40 minutes for us to figure this out. We have Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Brandon Ingram, and then from there the drop off got significant. We were starting to debate between Andrew Wiggins, Mikal Bridges, DeMar DeRozan, and then from there it took another significant drop off to debating of Jalen McDaniels at the 7th spot. Should be there where with OG Anunoby, RJ Barrett competing with them, and then from there it took another drop off. Like it just like I'm looking at the small forward spot specifically, and after like the 1 and 2 spot, to be honest with you, because even Brandon Ingram is a drop off after that. How bad do you think we are as far as small forward state goes?
I think the thing is with small forwards is that they also certain small forwards can play power forwards, so they're kind of interchangeable. I think the forwards position is kind of interchangeable between small and power forwards. I think that's the main reason, because remember, for example, KD and Kevin Durant also transitioning into power forwards because they've gotten slower, not as quick on the perimeter as much. I think also certain players also do play small forward, but they also play power forward. So I think that's one thing. I also do believe, like, when you keep looking at it, Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler are like top 10 players. Then it drops to Brandon Ingram, which drops from like top 10 player all the way to like a top 25 player, which is insane. And then it goes down to like, what did he say? What did you say? Who are the other 3 players?
Andrew Wiggins, Mikal Bridges, DeMar DeRozan.
Those are like top 40-ish. They're like top 40 to 30 players. And it drops all the way down to like top 50 players. And it drops all the way down to like top 60, 70 players. That's
it's like I'm looking, and even if we just broaden the scale and we looked at forwards, right? So you have Jimmy, Kawhi, LeBron, Tatum, right?
That's 5, yeah.
Okay. Then you have Giannis, AD, KD.
That's 7. That's 8.
That's 8. And then what? You have Zion,
9.
And then DeMontis.
DH mentioned
DeMontis, like Larry Markkinen, like DeMar DeRozan, Brandon Ingram.
Can we not bring up the power forwards? I actually want to talk about them. I think the power forwards are taking a resurgence. To be fair,
I'm looking. No. As far as power forwards specifically, I think that they're probably the most talented group out of all of the spots that we've been talking about.
Disagree. Guards.
I disagree. I think the versatility. I think the versatility as far as the power forward spot, and we're going to talk about it next week, but I think the power forward spot is the most talented we have seen yet as far as versatility alone. And it's not like they're a negative on the offensive end, because some of these players are leading on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I disagree with that, but nonetheless,
let's go on to
the next topic. All right, so guys, so real quick, we have a super chat from Sports PSP. He asked, which NBA player has the most approved? For me, it's Ben Simmons. In my opinion, I'm pretty sure some of you guys saw the clip on Instagram. My opinion, I think Jordan Poole has the most approved this season. I think that people do not realize how bad of an offensive player he was this past season, how mid of an offensive player he's been since being in the Golden State Warriors. I think he is a Steve Kerr merchant. I think he is a Steph Curry merchant. I think he is a merchant of Draymond's Green playmaking. I think that his handle is suspect. He has the creativity, but he just does not have the ball handling skills for him to actually do some of the things he wants to do, which is why in the playoffs he gets stripped so often, because he's trying to make moves that he simply cannot. I think as a finisher, he's a terrible finisher, although you will see highlights of him hitting impossible layups. That's because it took him 7 tries for him to finally make that layup. I think his shooting is a product of the open space that he's able to get, having all those shooters around him. I think in Washington, you're going to realize that as a 3-point shooter, he's really not that guy. And even you saw this season, even with like when you still had Steph Curry on the floor and Klay Thompson was on a hot streak, he was still putting forth like I want to say it was like 2 for 10 3-point nights and shit like that. Like Jordan Poole has a lot to prove this season, just to show that he is worth it. Because if he plays terrible this season, best believe he's looking to be shopped very, very fast by Washington.
Daryl, you gonna go first?
I think Daryl's muted.
Cooked.
He's gonna go first.
I actually wanted you to go first, please. I didn't really sit down and think about it. The player that needs the most. I kind of want to say James Harden because of his own issues with Daryl Morey, and then also trying to get a big paycheck. But I think that's a bit overthinking it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think it's Ben Simmons, because to be honest with you, so everyone is kind of low on Ben Simmons. So if he becomes good, that's more he's overachieving than people are saying that he has a lot to improve. Oh, I'm trying to think about it. Who?
You don't think KD has a lot to prove?
That is probably one I would say, yes, because of the last 2 postseasons being horrible. We all know about that Celtics series. Golly, was that horrible. And then it was called the last postseason. People are saying that he's getting carried by D-Book. When really and truly, if you sat down and really think about it, it was kind of like a Steph Curry to KD thing, where Steph Curry's opening up the path for him. And in this situation, KD was opening up the path for a D-Book. Although later on in the Nugget series, you could tell it wasn't really opening up the path. It was just really D-Book's tough shot making.
I was about to say that. I'm glad you said that, because I was about to say that, like, how do you explain the Nugget series?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie about that. Like later on in that series, you could really just say, yeah, D-Book was just on one of the biggest heaters that we've ever seen. But yeah, I think that would be my choice though. Yeah, KD. Okay. I think his defense has actually been kind of slightly underrated though. He's actually been one of the better defenders at his position, to be fair.
Yeah, but I don't think like, as far as like something for him to prove, I don't think it's for him to prove that he can play defense. I think KD's mission this season needs to be to prove that he can win on outside of a Golden State Warriors uniform, outside of a Steve Kerr system.
I don't think the season is going to be it unless we've.
I don't think it is either. But I think if there's a superstar, like if we change the question from which NBA player to which NBA superstar needs to prove has the most to prove, I think KD has the most to prove, because
I disagree with that. It would be
the rest of the wait, say it again.
It would be Embiid, but carry on.
I don't think Embiid has anything to prove because I think a lot of people outside of Philadelphia's fan base relatively like they sort of understand. Like I put a video in our chat. I don't know if you saw it, of me basically explaining how Joel Embiid is. Well, you know how I feel about Joel Embiid. And so my thing is, I don't think that that's a hot take because I don't think that I'm the only one that feels that way about Joel Embiid. So I don't think he has anything to prove because I don't think anybody's looking for him to prove anything any further. Like I think he's electric offensively in the regular season. In the postseason, it becomes stagnant. His lack of playmaking skills becomes exploited. I think that's what it is.
I think it's more to do with injury rather because even
if that's the case, but how you think this season he has to prove that he can stay healthy? Like if you get hurt,
I think I deadass believe it's not even healthy in the regular season. I think the postseason, if he's able to be healthy or be injured, but it's like a very minor one, like a broken pinky.
But that's not something that's in his control, though.
I know, but that's what I'm explaining to you. I think if he was able to stay healthy in the postseason, I think we could actually see a huge, for example, let's say we had one season of showing, okay, he's not gonna be injured this playoffs. You can actually see how he plays when he's not inhibited by something. Because remember when he was playing on a partially torn Achilles or partially torn meniscus against the
meniscus,
yeah, against the the Hawks, he was still able to drop 30 and he was worse playmaker wise than he is now. So I still don't that's what I'm trying to explain to you. I think it's more to do with injury stopping him from becoming the Embiid we know rather than his lack of playmaking. Because I think yes he's not the greatest playmaker, but I think it's really the injury stopping his offense from being that great scoring wise specifically. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kyra.
All right, Dale, your turn.
Player to me who I think has the most to prove on this season is Jordan Poole. And I say that because I feel like not only like with him making the move from the Golden State Warriors to Washington, but he was everyone said how successful he was with the Warriors, but me personally, I feel like any player can be successful with the Warriors because of how that offense is ran and how that team is. So to me personally, I think with him being here with Washington, he's under a whole new system. And now we got to see, is he able to create his own shots? Is he able to be that playmaker that people believe, that casual fans believe he can be? I honestly think he has potential. I just think this season, I don't really believe he's going to be that scorer, but he may have to because Washington don't got nobody else that can score other than Kuzma. So that's why I think who I'm looking out for this year.
And I just throw like a what's the word? Mention. What's the word?
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Yeah. I'll throw out an honorable mention. I think Karl Anthony Towns is also on the hot seat as well. I think he has something to prove as well. He needs to prove that he is capable of not dropping off so significantly in the offseason. In the playoffs when that's literally what you're there for. As a shooter, he's has these terrible woes in the postseason where he'll go from shooting lights out to not shooting at all. And then it'd be like, where did you go? And then defensively, he's nothing to negative. Well, no, he's negative to worse than negative. And so when you're that poor defensively and offensively, you're not giving me anything. It sort of makes the franchise start to look at you sort of sideways. And I think we all agree that it's Anthony Edwards' team now. So he already lost that, but now he's at risk of being put on a trading block.
He should be traded by now. Carry on.
I think he should be traded, but the franchise obviously still believes in him. But best believe, in my opinion,
pack him up for
if he has. Let him have one. Let him have one more season. This like of this caliber, where he goes into the postseason and the offensive production that he was giving you drops off a cliff. And I promise you, there will be reports of the Timberwolves having enough of Karl Anthony Towns shit and being ready to sell him.
But no, but for real though, why are you laughing about that? No, pack him up for Pascal Siakam.
Oh no. I'm not against it on a realistic level, but I know realistically that's really hard to happen though.
Bruh, just pack him up and give him some
shit. No, realistically, that's really hard to happen because Toronto's front office is asking for a haul for him.
Oh, that's true, man.
Yeah.
If I could, too? Yeah, Karen.
No, finish what you were saying before.
I was gonna say pack him up with Karl Anthony Towns and picks, and look at that defense, man.
Yeah, but Pascal, Toronto is probably asking for Jalen McDaniels in that deal, and
yeah, I know. I agree with you.
I'm not doing that.
True, I agree with you. It's just that I just want to see it line up with that defense. That would be so.
That defense would be elite. But I'll tell you one other trade that I think like is slept on. Imagine a trade of Karl Anthony Towns going to going to the Grizzlies for like a Jaren Jackson Jr. Rudy Gobert tandem.
I don't think that would ever happen. That's something that would never happen. If the league ever sees that, if the league ever allows that, the league is finished. My league is finished.
The defense.
That would be one of the most historically stingy defenses we've ever seen, bro.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Daryl, go ahead and give your honorable mention before we move
on. Austin Reeves. I think he has a lot to prove. Yet he showed for the Lakers. No, listen to me, because, like, don't get me wrong, he had a great season for the Lakers, but I just don't want it to be like, one of those situations where it was just a 1 year fluke where he just that's where I'm getting
and sanity wrong.
Yeah.
Too bad it is.
Look, we
had to get you back for that.
We paid him a good amount of money. So, like, all I'm saying to Genie Bus and the Lakers organization, like, Rob Pelinka, put your money where your mouth is. If y'all gonna pay him like that, then you better hope that he produces, the way we're gonna expect him to produce.
I agree.
I do want to say before we quick. I've been saying that for a while. That Austin Reeves is an industry plant. I want you to know that 3-4 month list sanity run is over. He is cooked next season. Oh
yeah, he's not. I don't think he's replicating. I don't think he's replicating that. But I think I
can't wait for that.
I don't think his offensive capability is a fluke. I think his offensive production was a fluke, in large part because LeBron missed a lot of those games, and so the ball was in his hands a lot more. Especially having that fraud D'Angelo Russell on the team. But I think not having LeBron fully healthy and ready to go, I think Austin Reeves won't have the ball in his hands enough for him to be able to produce. But I think his offensive capability is still there. But all right, let's move on. So we are moving to, after 2 hours, the second topic. All right. So this versus is Tracy McGrady versus.
I'll be dead ass with you. I think we should just move on to the trades. I'll be honest with
you. Who do you think is better?
I think it's close, but I think I would probably slide more to trade T-Mac.
Okay, we're gonna move on, guys. All right, so
yeah, thank you.
so
why? You think it's VC?
No. We said T-Mac when we made the discussion that we just wanted to wait to see what you were going to say. Yeah. So then, I mean, since we all agree and we don't gotta discuss this, we can move on.
Okay, Boston's have to send
Yeah. All right. So, guys, this is the time of the show where we get into the off season. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I apologize. It was an error on our part. We had to focus on our own personal business and lives and stuff like that. So we missed last week. So this week we're going to give you a double header. We're going to be doing the Boston Celtics, and we're also going to Los Angeles Clippers. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to start off with the Boston Celtics, guys.
I think, yeah, okay.
Well, okay. Well, I'm just going to give a quick rundown of everything they did this offseason. This offseason, after getting knocked out in the Eastern Conference Finals by the Miami Heat in 7 games, they they made one of the largest moves. Actually, I think it is the largest move in this entire offseason, and it went and picked up Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps Porzingis is a 7'3" power forward that is a very capable three-point shooter, as well as a very developed post scorer. Defensively, the value that he holds at the rim protection area is very underrated, to be quite honest with you. So guys, how do you feel about their offseason thus far? Oh, they also re-signed Jaylen Brown, Mr. No Left Hand. How do you guys feel about their offseason so far?
You go first, Darryl, and then I'll finish off.
Me personally, I'm gonna play it off and be biased right now because this is the show, and even though I truly hate the Celtics, but I'm just gonna be honest with you. I feel like personally they didn't. I honestly think them picking up Porzingis is an underrated move, and when I mean underrated is like good for them because they have, a big that can score. Not saying that Al Horford wasn't that, but Al Horford is aging, so he's not able to move at a pace that can go with Tatum and Brown, and he, to me personally, slows down their whole offense from last year. So when you add Porzingis in that, he can not only put you down low, he can not only post up on the block, but
he did it on purpose. I ain't gonna lie to you.
No, you know what I mean. He can post up on the block, and he's very good from shooting on the outside too. So he can kill you from both on outside the perimeter and inside in the paint. So I think that was actually a great pickup for them. It does kind of hurt that they lost Marcus Smart because he played a very impactful role in how they were defensively and was a great leader for them. But I think the reason why they also paid Jaylen Brown this much too is because they're expecting a bigger role from him because they know what they're going to get from Tatum. But I think they have high praise for Brown. They want him to be with that team for longer. So honestly, I think if anything, they probably will be third round, like, and out again.
God damn! So they do all of this just for them to end up right back where they were.
Yeah. I mean, they made the right moves, but like
talk about the biasness, man. God damn. He just can't see the Celtics winning the championship. You Laker fan. Oh, you so nasty. Zeno, go, man. Go.
Okay, since I get to go, I want to say I don't agree with that it's an underrated move. I think it's perfectly been explained to be one of the best moves in the off season. I think it's clearly one of the best off season moves. It's not even close. I think one of the things that he did miss to really explain why. Firstly, I wanted to cut you off when you were saying this because I think you forgot. Porzingis plays the center right now. He's not a power forward.
Yeah.
Wait, so they're moving Al Horford to the power forward spot?
No, I think he's going to be playing the center for that team.
And what's going to happen to Robert Williams?
Well, Robert Williams probably going to go on the bench.
But then Al Horford goes to the 4?
I'm just explaining to you what they originally on the Wizards. He played the center. That's what I'm.
No! I understand he played.
Gafford.
I understand he played center for the Wizards.
I'm almost certain he was a center on that team. Almost certain.
They listed him every game I went to as power forward.
He's a center though.
No,
I know, but for games they were listing him as power forward.
yeah,
They listed Daniel Gafford as center.
Yeah, like the reason why I said that he was going to be the reason why I say he was a power forward is because I'm expecting him to play power forward for the Celtics. That's the only way I think this
Right.
actually works, because I think Porzingis playing power forward and you putting Al Horford or Robert Williams, I would really go.
Daniel Gafford didn't even.
I would really go
for half of the year. Fair enough. Because I'm looking at this, like I'm looking at Porzingis, and I'm looking at the play-by-play stats, and it's saying he was started as power forward 100% of the time. So I'm genuinely confused. Oh well.
Yeah, he was started as a power forward because Gafford never played anywhere beyond the arc. He literally was just in the paint to block shots, rebound, and that was it.
And also to give Kristaps Porzingis some more love, because I'm very high on Porzingis, as you guys can hear. I always talk about him as far as
you don't. Why are you lying now?
No, I do always talk about it. So I'm not the one that was pushing the narrative that as a post scorer he developed very finely.
He actually just did
Okay.
say that, but I do want to get off where I wanted to end up.
Well, I was also about to say his true shooting percentage this year was like 2% over above average. So credit to him as well as a scorer. He like a lone scorer, because Washington didn't have much scoring to go alongside him.
Beal exists, but okay.
Huh?
Beal exists, but okay.
He doesn't exist to me.
No.
Even with that, I think was still able to produce.
He didn't really exist this season.
So yeah. But what did I forget? What did I forget to say about the Celtics move?
You guys need to get the hate out of your heart for Bradley Beal, but okay.
I have for Bill. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But I wanted to add on was one of the things, and I think something that's really underrated about Kristaps Porzingis is the role compaction that he does. Porzingis does something that I think certain people haven't paid attention to. He gives the rim protection and helps side defense that Robert Williams does, and then he also spaces the floor at an elite level that Al Horford does. So he's able to give you those two specific traits from your two big men and put them into one, while also giving you another like outlet when it comes to like when let's say the play breaks down and you need an easy way to get offense. You could always throw it to him on a block. He can post down a smaller defender and he could go to his fadeaway or a normal jumper. So I think that's another good thing about him. I think the main and the biggest reason why I'm actually I'm very high on that is the fact that he can actually do roll compaction for the two bigs that they usually play. And I think it's quiet as kept. I think Robert Williams had a down year as a defender, actually noticeably. I think that it's also good that they picked him up because Al Horford, as Daryl has said, he's getting older. He's not getting any younger. He's quite old at this point. I think that this is really good. The only issue I have with this signing is that Porzingis is known for breaking down, man. And now
he's not. He's not.
He is.
Don't do this. No, he's not. He's really not. I'm telling you right now, he's not. If I told you how many seasons he actually has missed, like compared to like the games that were available to be played, how many games he played, you would actually be like surprised that he actually plays a lot of them.
Tell me.
He played 72 out of 82 in 2015-16. That was his rookie year. 2016-17, he played 66 out of 82.
That's still not what you want. Like that's not serviceable.
So in a league
wait. I want you to know if the requirements for an all-star all NBA, was 65 games. He is only able to play that 3 times out of his career. You are overrating him.
That is not no. That is not true. Okay. In New York, the only time where he missed a significant amount of time was the year that he tore his ACL. It was 2017-18. He then gets traded to Dallas,
where he only played 57 in 2019-20, but that was because the season got shortened due to the
72.
pandemic. Then in 2020, 2021, he played 43 out of I think 72.
Still,
And then
so
in
that's
20,
horrible.
and then in 2021, 2022, he played 51 out of 82.
Horrible.
So that's a short. That's one of them seasons. So that's 2 seasons that he actually missed like a significant amount of games. Then last season he played 65.
That's 4 seasons. In 2017 and 18.
No, because
2017,
2017, 18. That's fine.
17, 18, 18, 19 because he was injured. It was called 2021.
Wait, you're counting 18, 19 because he was hurt. He didn't play.
That's still. Listen, what did I say? He's. What did I tell you? What did I say at the start? I want you to repeat it.
What?
I said that he's. I said that he has injury problems, and that's
okay. No? He had one injury. He had one season that he missed. That was 18-19, where he missed the entire season due to the ACL injury. Then in 2019-20, he played 57 games, and I don't remember. I think it was only 65 games that were available to play. So he played 8. He missed 8 games.
Okay, we're ignoring that because that suits what you're saying. I understand that point, but when you're talking about the season afterwards, when he barely played more than half the season,
the 2020-2021 season where he played 43 out of 72.
Yeah, that's barely over.
That's 19 games he missed. 19 games out of 82 is like what? Like 63?
That's a lot.
That's not a lot. It's really not. To be honest with you,
you need to stop this. You need
especially when you have players.
Joel Embiid missing. If Joel Embiid missed that much time, you know he'll get crucified. That is a lot. Stop.
Unfortunately, he has.
That's what I'm saying. That's why people crucify him because he's never fully healthy,
bro.
And if people are wait, I just want to make sure he has played 63 games or more 1, 2, 3, 4 times. The rest people are saying that he's been getting too injured, which is 1920, which is the same year that he said, well, how many games was there? 64?
57 out of 65 games available. So he missed 8 games.
And in the 2021 season, which he also played 51.
He played 43 out of 72 available games.
That is a lot.
That is not. That's only 19 games. That's only 19 games.
Only 19.
If it was Justin,
I want you to repeat yourself. I want you to repeat yourself. Only 19 games.
It was only 19 games that he missed. Especially in a league where the people that you're competing with, like players like Joel Embiid, are able to miss 51 games in that in a season that's 82 available, and it's okay. Why? Because
it's not okay. People literally crucify him. What?
Nobody crucified him for missing games.
Nobody ever crucified him for that.
Nobody crucified him for that.
That's actually one of the reasons why he didn't win the MVP in 2021. What?
Okay. So how do you expect in 2022, 2023, when he only played 66 games, he was still in the MVP conversation? Because his level of impact is still noticed. Where even though you missed,
even then, no. Even then, that was one of the main catalysts for him missing the MVP because he wasn't able to stay. Wasn't able to stay on the court for as much. Because if I'm correct, Nikola Jokic and also Giannis that season had much more games played. They were either around 80, like 75 to 80 games for both of them. So
you talking about this season, this past season,
last year, the year before that. You know,
Joel Embiid played 68. I think
but that's what I'm saying. That is a lot compared to fucking. You're arguing. I just don't get it, man. You're arguing certain things that makes no sense to me. 51 games is a problem. 43 games is a problem.
That is 43 games out of 60. Well, no, wait, was it 43 out of 65?
72. That
is. Are you sure?
Yes, that is a huge. No, it's 43.
Wait, hold on. 43. Oh, 2021 season. Yeah, it's 43 out of 65.
It's not 65. It's 72. No,
it's 65 because remember.
Within the bottom.
Oh no. Yeah, no. You are right.
Exactly.
You are right. Because 2019-20 was 65 games.
That's why I didn't argue. That's why I didn't argue that. I was arguing the 43 over 72 games, which is a huge amount. You're arguing that it's only 19 games. 19 games is a lot. What?
It's only 19 games.
I don't. Can we move on?
Wait, you said 70. You said 72,
No.
right? If it's 70, if it's 72, is that 19? Chad, is that 19? I think that's 29 actually.
Bruh.
And if that's 29, then no, you're right. 29 games is too much.
I got you. 1 second.
But anyways, back onto the Celtics. So
it's 29 games.
Justin,
yes.
Yeah, 29 games. So yeah, no, that's not
four seasons that he's missed a
that's
substantial
not
amount
4
of time.
seasons. Stop putting the 17, 18 season. You're not stop putting the 18, 19. You're being nasty. You're being
That's
nasty.
not part of his injury, though. That's not
No,
being
but-
nasty.
okay,
That's
okay.
actual.
But when you tear your ACL, naturally you're going to.
Let's remove that year.
Everybody
Let's
expects you
remove
to.
that year. Let's remove that year. Okay, cool. That's fine with you. 3 out of the first 3 seasons he's played, 2 of them has been dealt with a lot of injuries. Is that? Do you agree or do you?
Wait,
not?
say that again.
Out of the past 3 years he's played, 2 out of the 3 years he's been dealt with a lot of nagging injuries, and that's why he missed a lot of time. Yes or no? Because remember we talked about the 29.
He played 65 games this past year. He played 51 the year prior.
That's
and
30. That's
and
31
he
games.
43. He played 43 out of 72.
That's 29 games.
Okay, so yeah, 2 out of the 9 seasons.
Exactly.
2 out of the 3 seasons.
So
okay.
why are you acting like this is not a
Because although I think if you look at 2 out of the 3, then yeah, you're right. I look at the totality. Your statement originally was like quiet as kept. Everybody talks. Well, no, you didn't say quiet. You said Nikola Jokic. When people not Nikola Jokic. When people talk about Kristaps Porzingis, they look at his entire like years of being in the NBA, and they say
I've never said that. What I said originally, I said one of the problems I have with him is that he's injury prone. That's what I said, and then you decided to say,
you said one of the problems that they had was that he was injury prone, and I disagree because I feel like the only time he was the only time that you could legit say he was unhealthy was the 2021 season.
No, your original one was
21-22 season. And you could possibly you could say 17, 18, but he tore his ACL. Like that's
your original point was New York, and then I brought up the other years that
no. My original point was his entire career in the NBA. He's only had 2 seasons that he's been unhealthy, like outright.
2, 3.
Remove
the ACL year, 1 year in
17, 18. You talking about 17? Yeah. No. I'll give you 17, 18.
No, I'm saying remove the actual year that he sat out because of ACL.
18, 19.
Yeah. He has the 1 year in New York. He has 1 year in. I think he has 2 years in Dallas. Yeah, 2 years in Dallas and 2 years in Dallas. 1 year where he was 43 games, and then when
the year that he got traded to Washington.
Yes, so that's 3 years. 2 of them being relatively recent as well. So I don't know why.
Okay, so you said what's the third? I agree with you with the Dallas with the Dallas year.
What's called the last 2 years in Dallas.
Yeah, 21 season and then 22 season where he got traded to Washington. Those are the 2 years that I'm talking about. So what's the third?
I was talking about the New York year. Hello?
The year he tore his ACL. 48 games.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 3 years.
Okay. I guess when it comes, when I'm looking at it, he was healthy.
You're thinking of the totality, but that still doesn't make sense.
He was healthy 15, 16. He was healthy 15, 16. He was healthy 16, 17. 17, 18, he got hurt after playing 48 games. So I don't even up to 48 games he was healthy. After that, once he got hurt, he took the time for him to heal the ACL. In 2019-20 season, he came back. And ever since then, outside of the last 2 years he was with Dallas, he's played healthy, in my opinion. That's 1 year. No. Because the 2019-20 season, he played 57 out of 65 games. And then this last year in Washington,
exactly. So 1 year. So
that's 1, 2, 3.
No.
That's 4 years.
No.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
You're talking about after he tore his ACL, so it's only 2 years.
Oh, after he tore his ACL.
So he has a 50% chance of
2 3 years.
So he has a 50% chance of actually missing a lot of time. It's essentially what you're saying here.
No, I'm saying he's not as injury prone as people want to make it out to be. Yeah, he's
You're
not
arguing something that's literally factual.
It's
Bro,
not factual.
let's move on.
It's not
Let's move on.
factual, bro.
Let's
God
move on.
damn it, man.
We had like 15 minutes of arguing. Damn right, that's crazy.
No, we got 15 minutes of arguing that you're just like you're trying to push a narrative. I'm just not
It's not
buying.
pushing. It's not
Not
pushing a
buying
narrative.
it. I'm not buying it. It's not fact.
pushing.
No.
It's not pushing. It's not pushing a
Look,
narrative.
look, I'm
Listen,
Justin. I kind of with Zeno on this one.
Thank you.
Man, look, both of y'all are wrong. Man.
And usually he's on your side. That's how you know
I
that.
watched it.
Yeah, I've been watching Chris Stapps too. Yeah.
No, I'm saying like
Yeah.
Usually
like,
he's sat there on your
even
side.
This season,
when
he was barely there.
And you know what? Look, I ain't gonna lie to you, Zena. I was about to be childish and put both of y'all in the background.
Hey, if you want to do that, yeah, and you want to run the show, sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I got it. Whatever. Anyway, regardless,
Anyways.
when healthy, what Chris Stapps can do for the Boston Celtics, like they should be title contenders. They should be title favorites, to be honest with you, because they have all the boxes checked. They have the scoring. They have the scoring prowess. They have the defensive rim protectors. They have the versatile defenders. They have the point guard, like the point guard question, like solidified now. It's Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon coming off the bench. So like there should not be any question over do you have too many guards? Should not be a question over who's going to be the who's going to be the guy that leads the offense between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I think it should be solidified now, especially after this past postseason, that Jason Tatum should take the bulk of ball handling responsibilities. I think Jaylen Brown should be a quick slash or pass player. And as far as like defense, I think we already went over that. So I think I don't think there should be much of a question that these guys should be the favorites to come out of the East. And if they're not, boy, am I gonna be pushing some Jason Tatum narratives, boy. I'm just letting y'all know that. All right.
I'm telling you, they're not my favorite to come out the East, but carry
Who
on.
is your favorites to come out of the East, Daryl?
The 76ers. Oh,
clip this.
Zeno already said it.
You got the Sixers coming out?
Oh, baby, yeah. We just that guy. Woo, I loved it.
Bro, Daryl, you don't believe that. Zeno, you don't believe that.
I believe it. Oh, boy.
I'm joking.
I knew it. Like, what? There ain't no way you dumb enough to pick them.
Now, my favorite to come out the East, if that team is healthy, is Milwaukee.
Yeah.
If that team is healthy. That's a big if.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what? I think that series would be like mad interesting. Am I the only one that feel like that would be like a mad interesting?
What would be interesting?
The Milwaukee Bucks versus the Boston Celtics in a 7-game series.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting.
I think it would be mad interesting. I think the defense that'll be played. I think we're looking at a lot of like 100, 105 games. Like I don't think like you're gonna see super high like offenses, the offensive performances. We really gonna have to see like is Jason Tatum like that. But yeah, no, I think that they should be title favorites, and if they don't, but all right, even with you thinking, Daryl, that Milwaukee should come out of the East, if Boston loses, you do sort of look at them at the side eye, right? With them making all of these moves.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
and I think Joe Ingles. I think Ingles is going to be the X factor for that series if it happens. Because I think people are sleeping on him.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I think
Ingles that's crazy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Joe Ingles being an X factor in 2023 is sort of crazy.
Is insane. Yeah.
Sort of crazy. But
Bro's living off that Paul George. Oh boy.
All right, guys. All right, so we're moving on to the next team. This team is going to take quite a while to talk about. We're talking about the Los Angeles Clippers. The reason why I feel like
F the Clippers.
A little while for us. Okay. The reason why I feel like it's going to take a little while to talk about is because I think we have like a difference in opinion on the status of the Clippers. Although they have made like minor moves, they re-signed Russell Westbrook to a minimum deal. That was a great job on the front office hands, like bringing that player back, especially after the performance that Westbrook brought to the Clippers from the moment he was traded, to be quite honest with you, and especially in the playoffs in the first round against the Phoenix Suns. His defensive output in game 1 and from game, I want to say 3 on, the offensive effort that he was giving for them while Kawhi was out, I think should not go unnoticed. What do you guys think about the Los Angeles Clippers? Well, real quick, before you go, Zeno, Daryl has a small little soliloquy he wants to give about his fold of the Los Angeles Clippers. So go ahead, Daryl. The floor is yours.
You already allow him to spread his propaganda. That's
yes. Hate. For sure, 100%. Thank you, Daryl. All right, Zeno. All right, Daryl.
Hold on. Oh, y'all couldn't hear me. I was on mute. My fault. Put it back on. Put me back on. So,
hey, Nas.
All right. Sorry, y'all. I was on mute. But I'm tired of this narrative. I'm tired of the narrative that so-called NBA fans have that the Clippers are LA's favorite team. Get out your system right now. They are not. It will for always be the 17-time Los Angeles Lakers. Think about all these years. The Clippers have made so many moves. Lob City, all these different things, having Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, and they still couldn't win a title. So why do you think on earth this is the favorite to win the title when you have two broken players who can't stay healthy together for a whole 82-game series to get you a championship? The Clippers will forever and always be the little brother to the Lakers. So all you Los Angeles fans who want to be Clipper fans, you might as well move somewhere else because it's Laker Nation. So I'm saying it right now. You heard it from me at the 2-hour and 24-minute mark of this live. So yes, this is what I'm saying. Now, Justin, you can take it off me so we can discuss the LA Slippers.
All right. My fault. I was on the phone. Let's go ahead and bring it back. Zeno, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts?
I'll be real with you. As the way that this team is constructed, I think they should blow it up. Main reason, I think Kawhi's issues with his knees, they're cooked. I think his knees will never come back because he's constantly, like, how his knees work is essentially that he's always constantly playing injured. It's just that he can hold out the pain on his knee for a certain amount of time before he's like, yep, nah, I can't do it anymore. So I just don't see like a realistic way to really build around that. And since he's your best player, and Paul George is also declining right before our eyes, sad to see it, man. But he's also declining. I just don't see a realistic path on building a championship team with this team anymore. I think their best chance was unironically the bubble year. And when they blew that, they blew any resembling chance to really make a deep postseason run. It's sad to say that really they peaked in their first year together, in my opinion, because although Paul George and Kawhi didn't have the success they had in the year after, I think as players, they're both the best that they could be in tandem. And that's what I would have to say. I just think it's just too late now. And I think they should just blow it up and try and see how much they can get from it. And they should give us Paul George. All right, let me stop being a homer. But they should really just trade off of them while they have the trading value right now. They could also hold on for this year and trying to get his trade value up and then trade him. But essentially, I would say either this year or the next year after, they need to trade it and blow this team up, honestly.
Side note, is it me or does it feel like Kawhi Leonard, like, granted, he's missed some, he's missed like a lot of time, so him coming back being rusty is like that's true. But is it me or is Kawhi Leonard regress back to like his usual like mediocre to bad playmaking stuff? It's just a thought that came to my mind. Like 21, I thought was his best playmaking season, like by far as like his ability to be able to create for others. This past season, he played like 52 games or something like that. But like I was watching him, I was just like, bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you. He looks like he regressed back to his old self, playmaking wise. I think I agree with you guys that I think this team has been like injury riddled from the moment they started. I think the when you think back to 2019 season, the 2020 season, that they were Paul George and Kawhi Leonard was benefiting off of the load management that led to Kawhi winning a championship with the Raptors, and they were able to tell the Clippers when they wanted to work out and shit like that. And then the postseason comes around, and you saw immediately in that Maverick series that the team chemistry was like, it was shaky at best. And defensively, it was really, really tough for them to be able to guard any person that could operate in pick and rolls. And I don't think people really foresaw that. And so when you go up against the Nuggets, although yes, offensively Kawhi was so fantastic, the team as a unit was like they were inept on making like consistent like runs outside of Kawhi Leonard. And so like it was really like I was not surprised that the Nuggets were able to come back 3-1. And then fast forward all of these years, and it's been the same story. They tried low management, it doesn't work out usually because one of them or both of them end up getting hurt. That leaves the team very like one. Their hands are tied behind their backs, and they're having to go up against this elite competition, expecting for them to be able to pull out a miracle. And although they have one of the best coaches in the league in Ty Lue, it's really, really hard for him to even be able to do that, especially when he loves running small ball and you don't have the elite, versatile forwards at the helm in the palm of your hands, and Paul George and Kawhi Leonard to be able to run those small ball lineups effectively. And so I'm with you guys. I think that's the biggest thing that holds this team back. That being said, I'm going against the grain with you guys. I think the Clippers are still title contenders because I don't know, man. I'm just so big on the impact that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George as a tandem can bring when healthy. Like this tandem defensively, they're still that elite. Now they aren't like the best defenders in the world like they once were, but like as a tandem, the versatility, the lineups that can be ran for this team, especially having Westbrook now being able to have that elite, well, I won't say elite, but having that good playmaker that can be able to create penetration for this team, allow them to be able to get more open shots. I feel very, very confident with this team. I think the biggest thing was the team chemistry because they did make a lot of trades. They got Russell Westbrook, Eric Gordon, who played significant minutes for them guys. They didn't play Robert Covington, which still to this day I have not got a satisfactory answer on why that was. Even with all of that understood, I just feel like if they're healthy, I legit outside of the Denver Nuggets and the Golden State Warriors cannot think of a team that can outdo this team. Even the Lakers, and I love the Lakers, but defensively, like although Anthony Davis is the rim protector and versatile, player of all versatile players defensively. Think of the lineups that the Clippers could be able to run to combat that if Paul George is healthy.
So let me ask you this question then. So you listed those top Western Conference teams. So who the Suns just pick up as the head coach? What's his face?
Frank Vogel.
Yeah, Frank Vogel. No, so he's a great defensive coach. He's a defensive coach.
But he doesn't have the defensive personnel, and he's so inept offensively that, like,
But
I didn't
here,
understand that signing.
hear me out though.
I'm listening.
You think if he gets that team, he's already won a championship with LeBron and the Lakers, but do you think like with winning that championship in the past, that can get KD, Booker, Beal, that can get them to be like, all right, let's play defense for this guy because he's already proven it can work to win a championship. We can create our own offense because all three of us know how to score. So you don't think that can work to where they can be a top title contending team?
No, because I feel like in the short answer, I think KD. I don't think that it's coincidence that KD's like offensive production has dropped over the last couple of years. I think his age has caught up to him, and the ACL tear makes it very difficult for him to be able to be as mobile as he once was. So it's really hard for him to be able to create rim pressure.
Achilles, not ACL.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. His Achilles injury makes it really hard for him to move. And he's not. You say it again?
No. Daryl said it like he wanted you to get it right. I'm like, damn, Daryl.
But I just I think that KD's injury is in his old age.
That was insane,
really hard for him to be able to like. Hold on, give me 1 second. It makes it really hard for him to be able to create rim pressure, and that's the main thing with this team, and that's what they need. They're sort of redundant when it comes to the shot creation because all three of the stars of the team loves to do the same thing and operate in the same area. So from that sense, I think that it becomes like problematic, especially if you don't have a head coach that's offensively gifted to be able to create sets that could be able to get them quality shots in that area. Especially, we know the mid range is one of the tougher shots, especially in the postseason. And then defensively, like I told you, they don't have the personnel for them to be able to run the defense that Frank Vogel operates very well. Rim protection. Don't get me started. I think DeAndre Ayton has shown that he shows small capability in being able to operate in there. So I don't believe in Phoenix. I don't believe in Phoenix at all, to be honest with you. I think that they're second round exit.
Okay, I just have a question.
But yeah, no. I think looking at this team, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think the starting lineup of Westbrook, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, I would like to see who the four would be for them with Zubac. Because I think that Zubac quiet as kept is like he's been like the main consistency with his team. I'm not giving them much flowers outside of that.
Part of me believes that they're gonna have Covington probably
I hope
3 and
bring Covington back. I hope they bring Covington.
Yeah, part of me believes Covington will be the 3, and then you have Kawhi at the 4.
Or they could run a lineup that consists of Westbrook, Eric Gordon, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard at the 4, and Zubac at the 5. That wouldn't be a bad lineup because, again, you still have the versatility of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard there to be able to cover the areas that Eric Gordon and Zubac cannot. And Westbrook has shown his capability of being able to be a pest around there, and I do not think that is a fluke. The reason why I do not think that it's a fluke is because Russell Westbrook in a Lakers uniform was able to transfer the eruptions that he was able to create off ball over to the Clippers. And so although you would say, Justin, it was a small sample size against the Clippers, like with him being with the Clippers, I would say no, because if you went back and look at the Lakers, he was doing sort of the same things there. So I don't think that it's a fluke. I think that that's actually who he is. So if you have positive to great defensive players in the likes of Westbrook, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, I think that that's more enough to be able to cover ground for the starting lineup. And then when you talk about the bench, I believe they still have Bones Highland. I think I'm not truly sold on Bones Highland, but other people are. So if they are, like, fuck it, okay, whatever. I'm more sold on Terrence Mann. I think Terrence Mann still has a level to go. And I think Tyronn Lue, again,
I was going to say,
I do not stress this enough. The small ball lineups Tyronn Lue is going to run, having those players on the court, they cannot be. Yes, he is a small ball merchant. But that being said, nobody can seem to figure out how to stop him from doing those lineups. So if that's the case, man, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard being as elite as they still are, I do not think that they're the best in the world or anything like that, but they still are elite defenders and elite versatility defenders at that. I think that could go a long way for them.
Clippers will be better off going to Seattle and rebranding to the Seattle Supersonics.
Hearing a fan of the team, another team, just slander the Clippers is nasty work.
No, for real, the biasness is crazy.
That's why at this point I'm just like rocking with him, just slandering teams.
You the one who said blow it up. So I mean,
hey, I'm speaking from a non-biased perspective. You're dead.
You know what's crazy? I don't blame neither one of you. Daryl, I think you're trolling, but like I do think that it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if the Los Angeles Clippers decided to move to a different city so that they can create their own brand, create their own culture, be able to create their own fandom that isn't like coincided with the Lakers. It's really, to be honest with you, it's sort of upsetting that they haven't done it up to now. The level of star power that you've been able to have for this team. Imagine a Lob City that wasn't having to like battle with the Lakers for
relevancy.
For relevancy. Like imagine if the Lob City Clippers were in Seattle, or imagine if they were like in Las Vegas or something like that. I think they would have probably gotten even more love in the NBA world because they would have had their own fans. This group, this
ragtag group, their own fans is insane to me.
Say it again.
They would have had their own fans. Is kind of rude, but
they don't have they don't have their own fans though. Like
I feel you. I'm just saying that's fine.
Here's the thing that I'm saying.
I do agree.
You're saying I'm trolling, but I'm being serious because I really do believe if the Clippers go off somewhere else and rebrand, they can be better off successful because it's very hard. Like it's never been easy for a team in any sports world, but I know since we're talking about basketball, in any sports world, when you have two teams that are from the same city, when you have one that's at the very top and you have one that's like at the bottom that people are just like, they're here, but we don't really care about them.
Yeah.
So I think it's best that the Clippers, they stay in the West, obviously, but move to Seattle or Vegas, get one of them cities.
Get a team in the East, shit. I want to get you a team in the East, okay.
But you gotta make it even 15 on both sides if we have the 30 team thing.
Man, get one of them bottom figures. Get Charlotte and tell them niggas to move back over to I don't know. And then Zeno, I agree with you as well. I think a case can be made that the Clippers should have blew this up once
they should have never created it.
Once Kawhi went down with, I think argument can be made that they probably should have looked to blow it up after like the Clippers started to look like they were going downwards after Kawhi Leonard tore his ACL the first time. So, and especially now, like with him having the ACL tear, I think argument can be made that they probably should look at blowing it up as well. I don't even know if Kawhi Leonard is playing. I just said all of that hoping that Kawhi Leonard comes back this season. But if he doesn't come back, like what?
It's gonna come back this season, but the odds of him staying healthy is the same odds of you being pregnant. Not gonna happen, my guy.
What?
I like that. Facts. Type shit. But
I said that way too matter of factly. My bad. It was supposed to be a joke, but I didn't put the emphasis. My fault.
That joke didn't work.
Yeah, I did it because I didn't put the emphasis.
That was a fire ass reference. I'm not gonna lie to you. But all right, y'all. So that is going to do it for this episode. We thank you guys that came in. We want to give a shout out to Sports PSP for coming in, chopping up with us, giving us some really good questions for us to talk about and stuff like that. We appreciate it.
Not for real. Shout out to them.
Facts. Thank you guys for love. You will catch us. I promise you this time. You will catch us every Sunday, similar to around this time. Ready to talk. Shut up. And ready to talk basketball. Next week we are going to be going with. Let's see.
Drum roll, please.
You're going to catch us going with the Memphis Grizzlies and the Atlanta Hawks. So
I can't wait to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies.
We get to talk about that stifling D. Grit and grind is back.
Hey, yo, what?
Hey, we get to talk about the jailbirds. All right.
The jailbirds is
crazy.
Man said Joe Blazers Part 2.
Oh man. But yeah, no. So we're gonna be talking about the Grizzlies. We're gonna be talking about Atlanta. I ain't gonna lie to you. If we could, we're gonna definitely try to bring back an old host to come and talk about his team. Working on that maybe for a little bit. But that's gonna do it for this episode. It's your boy Casual, Daryl, Zeno, and
yes, sir.
Later.
Random Zeno. See ya.
This dumbass.
This dude.
You're so